Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Voyage. The Age of Speed begins with the Robbery of Nami. Chapter 81. Next, I plan to expand to 4 more divisions, List said. No one was surprised by this. This is how the money pirates came along. Every time a pirate group is defeated, they will be collected in place. Now that they have defeated the Baroque Working Society, they will naturally include those who work in the Baroque Working Group. How are the cadres of Baroque Working Group doing now? List asked Zoro. Although they were seriously injured, our ship's doctor also treated them and they are now fine. Daz Bones, Bentham and others have already woken up in the morning. Zoro replied. Johnson, go and bring some cadres from the Baroque Working Society. List said. Yes, Captain, Johnson responded and left the money. Soon, they came with Daz Bosi and others. List looked at Dar's Bones. In the original work, this guy caused Zoro a lot of trouble. If it weren't for Zoro cheated in battle, she will probably die in his hands with hatred. However, in this time and space, Zoro has his tricks, and he has long understood the secret of cutting iron. But he was defeated easily. Then, List looked at Bentham again. This guy is a she-male. A she-male whose appearance makes people feel chilled all over. However, it is quite loyal. In Summit War, Fang Kelle's performance in the deep-sea prison made many viewers cry. List did have some appreciation for him. Finally, List turned his attention to his third brother, Dino. This guy, like Usopp, is a guy who has the most unexpected abilities. It can often help the protagonist turn the tables in adversity. He can also be regarded as a koi-like character. It wouldn't be a bad idea to join the Money Pirates. How many of you are willing to join my Money Pirates? List asked. If you don't want to, what will you do with us? Daz Bonus asked first. You are trying to subvert Alabasta. If you are not willing to join our Money Pirates, I will hand you over to the Alabasta royal family, and then let them broadcast your execution to the whole country. List said calmly. All the cadres of the Baroque Working Group couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. It's really ruthless. If you don't agree to join, you will be executed directly. Captain List, Marianu and I are willing to join the Money Pirates. The third brother, Dino, quickly raised his hand. The slave family is also willing to join. Bentham shouted. I'm also willing to join. Zala said. When Daz saw that all his companions had chosen to join the Money Pirates, he naturally did not resist anymore. After all, he only learned that his boss was Crocodile 3 days ago. The time we spent together didn't last long at all. He also has no deep loyalty to Crocodile. List can defeat Crocodile, which shows that playing with List has a better future than playing with Crocodile. He had no reason to refuse. I am willing to join the Money Pirates. Dar's Bones bowed to List. Welcome to join the Money Pirates. List stretched out his hands and said with a friendly smile. Daz Bones, from today on, you are the 5th captain of my Money Pirates. Zala comes to be the captain of the 6th division. Bentham becomes captain of the 7th division. Dino will be the captain of the 8th division. List said. Hi. Several people from the Baroque Working Group responded quickly. Zoro, as per the old rules, after the meeting, you will lead Johnson and the others to reorganize the 8 teams 10 times. List looked at Zoro and said. What is the old rule? It is to disrupt all the existing members of the Money Pirates and the members of the Baroque Works Club, and then adapt them. This allows old crew members to lead new crew members and allows the new crew members to integrate into the Money Pirates as soon as possible. You can also give veteran crew members a promotion to give them something to look forward to. Okay, Zoro nodded and accepted the task. That's all I have to say. Do you have anything else to add? List looked around at the crowd and asked. Hearing this, they all shook their heads. Okay, since no one has any objections, let's end the meeting here and adjourn. List announced. Soon, Zoro took Johnson and others off the new money. Go and reorganize the pirate squad. After watching these men leave, Nami withdrew his gaze, looked at List and said, List, are you planning to draw lots to decide the ownership of this last devil fruit? The tradition of our Money Pirates is to decide the ownership of devil fruit based on fate. Drawing lots is about fate and is the fairest. Of course, it can be decided by drawing lots. List said with a faint smile. It's up to you. Nami had no objection to this. In this case, the devil fruit illustrated book you asked me to find will be completely useless. Robin said with a faint smile. If there is no use for it now, it may not be available in the future. Besides, if you take it over, we will learn a lot, List said. Then, List took out another bamboo tube that had been prepared. There are a total of 12 sticks in this bamboo tube. As before, only one has the word, fate, written on it, and the rest are white. Come on, girls who haven't eaten devil fruit yet, come over and draw lots. Let's see if you have a destiny with this devil fruit 0. I'll come first. With previous experience, Nami jumped out for the 10th time. Pull a bamboo stick directly from the bamboo tube. Take a closer look. In the end, it was still a blank sign. Why is it a blank sign again? Nami was speechless for a while. This can only mean that you have no chance with this devil fruit. List smiled dumbly. A probability of 1 in 12. If you are not very lucky, you may not win once in 100 times. Nami missed twice, which is so normal. Vivi, come and draw a lot. List said. Okay, Vivi nodded. When she was at Whiskey Mountain, she watched Nami and others play, so she was very familiar with the process and went straight up to smoke one without being pretentious. But it's a pity that, like Nami's, it's a white lottery. Continue. White sign. White sign. After Vivi, 5 or 6 girls in a row got white draws. The people behind me didn't want to get in for a while. Because they all discovered a rule: the earlier a person draws lots, the easier it is for him to draw a white lot. The later a person draws the lottery, the easier it is for him to draw the fate study lottery. So they all want to wait for others to draw all the white lots and win by themselves. Xiaolian looked around at the sisters and found that none of them were willing to draw lots. So, take a few steps forward. I didn't bother to choose, I picked one up from the bamboo tube very casually. Next moment, the sign with the word, fate, caught her eye deeply. I seem to have won the lottery, Xiaolian said somewhat unexpectedly. Where are you? Upon hearing this, the girls immediately gathered over. When they see the word fate on the signature, everyone was fried. It really hit the mark. Xiaolian is so lucky. Last time, I almost won, but this time, I won the draw directly. So envious. Show me, List said. Hi. Xiaolian handed the yuan sign in her hand to List. List took it and took a look, and after confirming that it was correct, he smiled and said, yes, Xiaolian did win, then this devil fruit belongs to Xiaolian. After saying that, List handed the last devil fruit to Xiaolian. Xiaolian quickly took it and bowed to List. Thank you, Captain. Eat it, List reminded kindly. Hi, Xiaolian responded and ate the devil fruit directly. Xiaolian, how do you feel? What ability did you get? After Xiaolian eats devil fruit. The girls couldn't wait to ask. It's not clear yet what ability it is, but I feel that this ability fits well with me. Xiaolian said. The ability to control devil fruit surges into both palms. Who wants to come up and give it a try? Xiaolian glanced at the girls and said with a smile. I'll do it. Chitong was the first to stand up. No, I won't fight you, Chitong. Xiaolian saw Chitong standing up and refused without even thinking about it. Hill, don't come up either. Company authored, you can only bully those of us who don't have devil fruit. The girls looked at it and couldn't help but joke. The main function of my devil fruit is not for fighting, although it can be used for fighting. So, I just want to find someone with similar strength to me to give it a try. In that case, let me do it. Shizuka stood up and said. Shizuka, yes, come on. Although Shizuka was stronger than her, she wouldn't be able to kill her instantly, so she agreed. When Shizuka heard this, without saying a word, she directly used the silent shunpo and blasted towards Xiaolian. Xiaolian narrowly dodged Shizuka's attack. The palm of his hand instantly pressed on Shizuka's abdomen. Ah! In an instant, Shizuka moaned uncontrollably. Then, she collapsed on the deck with a red face. The area below the deck where she was sitting was instantly wet. The girls were completely dumbfounded watching this scene. The next moment, the little faces turned red one by one. Xiaolian, what kind of devil fruit are you? You are too rogue. That's right, I didn't expect you, Xiaozi, to be such a person. I actually misjudged you, Xiaolian. You must never come near me in the future, otherwise we sisters will not be able to do anything. That's right, Xiaolian, you are so nasty. No, no, everyone, it's not what you think. Xiaolian wanted to explain that her devil fruit was not a rogue, but there was Shizuka as an example. No one obviously believed her. For a moment, I felt like crying without tears. The devil fruit illustrated book says that the name of the devil fruit that Xiaolian eats is the nursing fruit. Can speed up the recovery speed of illness and injury. You can also remove some hidden wounds accumulated daily. It also has the effects of nourishing the body, recovering from fatigue, relaxing the mind, and beautifying the skin. Robin flipped through the devil fruit illustrated book, compared it with the devil fruit that Xiaolian ate just now, and interpreted it. After hearing this, the girl's eyes became brighter and brighter. His attitude turned completely 180 degrees. At this moment, they will still fall in love. One by one, they all wanted to feed Xiaolian. It turns out that what Xiaolian ate was a nursing fruit. It's all Shizuka's fault for making such a fuss. I even blamed Xiaolian for it. That's right, Jingxiang is too unreserved. I thought Xiaolian did something to feel sorry for her. Xiaolian, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you just now. Everything is Shizuka's fault. Xiaolian, you can't blame us. Recently, I've been feeling sore and sick in my lower back. Xiaolian, you have to help me. Quote. Shizuka looked at the girls' quarrels, with grievances written all over their faces. She obviously didn't do anything, but in the end, in order to please Xiaolian, these guys used her as a stepping stone to please Xiaolian. It was really too much. Okay, stop hanging around. At this time, Nami spoke. Xiaolian, come here and press it for me. When the girls heard this, they were speechless for a while, but there was nothing they could do to Nami. After all, she is the eldest sister. Barking teeth to her, I'm afraid the shoes haven't been worn by the superior. Hi, Sister Nami, the farmer responded. He emerged from the crowd of girls. Walk up to Nami, putting his hands on Nami's shoulders. Knead with moderate intensity. Ah, comfortable. At this moment, Nami instantly understood why Shizuka couldn't control herself just now. Xiaolian's hands pressed lightly. She felt that her whole body became clear and comfortable. Moreover, there is an invisible energy traveling in the body, constantly pushing all the serious ailments out of the body. That kind of happiness is only a little bit weaker than fighting in bed with List. How could an inexperienced girl like Shizuka be able to resist? It's so normal to make a fool of yourself on the spot. After Xiaolian pressed her shoulders, she pressed her temples, and then she pressed her neck. Nami was completely immersed in Xiaolian's massage. 3 minutes later, Nami seemed like a different person. Radiant, skin as tender as a baby's. Even the eyes are pure. The changes were so big that everyone couldn't help but be shocked. Nami-san has become so beautiful. Xiaolian is so powerful. I really want to be pressed by Xiaolian. Next to them, Robin, Nokigao and Vivi looked at Nami, who looked like a different person and couldn't sit still. Xiaolian, it's my turn, come over to me and press the button. Robin said. Xiaolian glanced at Robin with some embarrassment. Robin's status on this ship is indeed higher than that of Xiaolian, but Xiaolian has not forgotten that Nami is the eldest sister on the ship. Nami didn't say anything, so how could Xiaolian dare to act on her own initiative and go give Robin a massage? Go. Nami didn't embarrass Xiaolian for long. She is also a woman who knows how to share. Naturally, she would not monopolize Xiaolian. Hi, Xiaolian responded. Walk behind Robin and press Robin up. Comfortable. At this moment, Robin also experienced the magic of Xiaolian's hands. Soon he was immersed in Xiaolian's massage. After Xiaolian pressed Robin, she pressed Nokigao and Vivi. After pressing the button for 4 people in one breath, Xiaolian's breath became a little messy. Obviously, for Xiaolian, massage is also a very physically demanding thing. Xiaolian, are you okay? The girls said worriedly. They were worried that Xiaolian was exhausted and it would not be their turn next. I'm fine, I can continue. Captain, I'll give you a massage. Xiaolian shook her head, walked behind List, and said to List gently. Xiaolian, please take a rest first. List also noticed Xiaolian's condition and had no intention of squeezing Xiaolian. No need, Captain, I'm okay. Xiaolian shook her head and said. Finally got to List. Xiaolian also wants to have close contact with List. How could she give up halfway? Okay. Seeing that Xiaolian persisted, List let her go. Anyway, it just consumes some energy. Let her exercise more to improve this durability. Xiaolian gently placed her slender hands on List's temples. Rub it gently. List instantly felt like he was in a gentle land and enjoying the bliss. The body also became lighthearted. Yes, Xiaolian's hands are really full of magic. They are no worse than my overclocking. No wonder Nami and the others all fell. It seems that I will. Blessed are you. Quote, for a moment, List couldn't help but want to be guilty. You have carefully observed Crocodile's armament hockey, and you have many ideas in your mind on how to awaken and even control armament hockey. Based on this, you conducted 388 experiments. After 2 days, you finally successfully awakened armament hockey. Another day has passed and you have completely controlled your armament hockey. Armed and hardened, List drew his famous sword Wajo and crossed his armament hockey. A layer of black film quickly appeared on Wajo's blade. This is armament hockey. Then, List swung out a random blow. Whoosh! A huge flying slash of tens of meters shot out. It flew straight to 1,000 meters away. It didn't dissipate for a long time. Although my armament hockey has only awakened not long ago, in terms of quality and quantity, it is stronger than Crocodile. List looked at the chop wave flying out of sight, showing a satisfied expression. Wajo was originally the weapon of a small cadre of the Baroque working group. But List took a fancy to him. Therefore, the knife became List's. I've been in Alabasta for 3 days, it's time to leave. List looked at the sky. Sighed. Exclamation mark. Alabasta Grand Palace. Cobra held a banquet for List and others. At the banquet, except List, Nami and other women were there, as well as Zoro, Johnny, Siav and half of the captain's cadres. Everyone was unhappy after eating. It's also called if you are not having fun. Until late at night. Then they gradually dispersed. That night, Nami, Robin and others all tacitly left space for Vivi and List. This night, in Vivi's room, the two fought to death. Don't waste any time. The two fought until dawn before stopping. Vivi lay on List's body and suddenly started crying. List, I can't bear to leave you. Be good. I will come back to see you when I have time. List stroked Vivi's blue hair and comforted her. Then you agreed, you must come back to see me in the future. Vivi said while crying. Definitely, List assured Vivi. Although the two fought fiercely all night, at this time, neither of them felt sleepy. Maybe it's because they were separated soon. No one is sleepy. So we all got up, washed up, and went out to have breakfast with everyone. After breakfast, everyone returned to where the fleet was. At this time, the money pirates already owned more than a dozen pirate ships. Except for the first 9, the 10 newly obtained pirate ships were all looted from the Baroque Company, Limited. In the end, it is the organization of 7 warlords of the sea. The power is huge and the family wealth is deep, which is not comparable to the current money pirates. At this time, List and others were already on board. Busy with sailing, Vivi, Ikamle stood on the river bank, practicing for List and others. Vivi, take care of yourself. List stood on the bow and said to Vivi. I will take care of myself. List, you should also take care of yourself, and you must remember to come back to see me. Vivi mentioned the matter again. I will, List said. Vivi, goodbye. Vivi, take care. Vivi, see you soon. Nami, Robin, Nuo Chigao and others all said goodbye to Vivi. Vivi looked at her lover and sisters who were about to set sail and left, and finally couldn't help but burst into tears. Everyone, please take care of yourself and remember me. Vivi, don't worry, no matter where we are, no matter how far apart we are, you will always be one of us, and we will always remember you. Set sail. List finally announced its departure. All the pirate ships of the money pirates set sail at the same time. Set off towards the next goal. Vivi looked at the money pirates going away, her heart was empty, and she didn't come back to her senses for a long time. Ikaram next to him saw it and felt pain in his heart. Hey, it's all because List is too charming and caused such trouble to our Princess Wei Wei. After the money pirates set sail, didn't leave Alabasta right away. Instead, we stopped for a while in the port city of Alabasta. This is a port city with a developed economy. Many large companies and banks have opened branches here. Therefore, List converts all gold into cash here. After that, Johnson and others were asked to replenish a large amount of supplies. Only then left Alabasta. List didn't know that less than 5 hours had passed since the money pirates left Alabasta. Chingzi came to Alabasta on a women's bicycle. Before he could find List and others, Marine from Rapeseed Marine Base came to him and reported to him, the money pirates had left a few hours ago. There is only a difference of 5 hours. They are so lucky. In this regard, Chingzi could only sigh helplessly. Anyway, if he only had an hour or two, he might go after him. But, after 5 hours, they already didn't know how far they had gone, and he didn't know which direction the money pirates were going. So I gave up the pursuit. At the same time, he did not blame Marine at Rapeseed Port for his inaction. After all, with the ferocity of the money pirates, it would be better if you didn't take the initiative to provoke them. If you take the initiative to provoke them, they will destroy the entire Marine base in minutes. Marine at Rapeseed Port just chose Mingzi to protect himself. What reason does he have to blame? Come and go. Finally, Chingzi chose to spend a few days in Alabasta for a few days of vacation before leaving. On the vast sea, Nami, where is our next island? List asked. According to the route we are taking, our next island is Gaia. Nami said. Gaia Island, I've heard that it's in a 4-pronged zone, where pirates, mafia, and all forces coexist. I heard it's very chaotic. Robin suddenly said. Really? List nodded. Unexpectedly, they actually followed the route taken by the Straw Hat Pirates in the original work. However, he had no intention of forcing changes. Everything goes as it should. Moreover, List also has some ideas for Sky Island and Enel's Thunder Fruit. In this case, go and meet them. Thinking, List sat down. Xiaolian, give me a massage. I didn't sleep last night and I almost died from exhaustion. Just after List finished speaking, Nami and others immediately rolled their eyes. Hi, Xiaolian responded, walked up behind List fondly, and gave him a massage. Under Xiaolian's careful care, List's fatigue from fighting all night finally eased. Gradually he fell asleep. Ah, List, something happened. I don't know how long it took. Suddenly a scream woke List up. What happened? List glanced at everyone, and finally set his sights on Nami, Kaido. Look, our bounty has been increased. Nami said. Oh, let me see. List immediately became energetic after hearing this. Kong Na Wang Jiao took the reward list from her hands and started reading it one by one. Super fast list. Bounty. * 200 million. No matter life or death. The first thing List saw was his bandit account, and he saw that his bandit account had finally been changed. Although he is not a handsome guy, he is very satisfied with this gangster account. It's not easy to finally get rid of the bandit butcher. List sighed inwardly. The amount of the reward is only a temporary matter, only this gangster account has a lifelong reputation. Originally, he had planned. What if Marine continues to call him a butcher? He went to a Marine base to cause a scene and forced them to change the bandit's account. Unexpectedly, I haven't waited for him to take action. Marine had already consciously changed his bandit number. It's quite a face-saving gesture. As the bounty 200 million. That's okay. List was very satisfied with the bounty. After all, it's all about Crocodile. Luffy only had a reward of 100 million, but he had a reward of 200 million. What else could he be dissatisfied with? List turned over other people's bounties. Son of the Devil Nico Robin. The bounty is 110 million. No matter life or death. Pirate Hunter Roronoa Zoro. Bounty. 90 million. No matter life or death. Double Gun Nuauchi Gao. Bounty. 60 million. No matter life or death. Little Thieving Cat Nami. Bounty. 30 million. No matter life or death. Ghost Akin. Bounty. 30 million. No matter life or death. Master Hypnosis Praises. Bounty. 20 million. No matter life or death. Big Johnson. Bounty. 10 million. No matter life or death. Curly Rocky. Bounty. 10 million. No matter life or death. Flash Red Eyes. Bounty. 20 million. No matter life or death. Blooded Blade Hill. Bounty. 20 million. No matter life or death. Unexpectedly, even Kai Tong and Hill were put on bounty. List said with some surprise. Yeah, now, we may be even more famous. Nami said with a hint of sadness. She doesn't like having a bounty on her head the most. Because being rewarded means being targeted by countless people. List glanced at Nami and shook his head. He still understands this about Nami. It can't be changed. By the way, besides us, there is also a reward order today. Nami said. Another reward order was handed to List. List glanced. He is really a familiar yet strange person. Straw Hat Luffy. Bounty, 35 million. Haha, this kid finally went to sea. List laughed. List, you know him? Nami asked. I haven't met him officially yet, but I have admired him for a long time. List said with a faint smile. Yeah, Nami nodded. She had long been accustomed to List's behavior, so she didn't find it strange at all. This guy going to sea means that the times are about to go crazy, List sighed. It's not that exaggerated, Nami said in disbelief. It's not an exaggeration at all. List shook his head and smiled. Nami, are there any reports about him? I'm very curious about what he did. He will be rewarded with a reward of 35 million. Almost all of Luffy's enemies in East Blue were killed by him. Except for Buggy the Clown. But, even so, he was still in East Blue with a reward of 35 million, so he was a little curious about Luffy's experience. Yes, not only theirs, but also ours. Ours is the headline, theirs is in a remote corner. Nami said, handing a newspaper to List. List looked at it. There is no detailed description of what happened to Luffy, except that he knocked over a marine base. Therefore, the regiment was offered a reward of 35 million. List couldn't help but smile when he saw it. Another blow to marine base. Why, it seems that if you want to quickly become famous in East Blue, the only way to go is marine base. Quote. List and the others were discussing Luffy. Now the whole world is in an uproar. East Blue, West Bro Village. Miss Kaya, something bad is going to happen. Melly once again took a newspaper and hurried into the garden. What happened again, Melly? Kaya asked, always so gentle and graceful. Adat List's bounty has increased again, this time he killed Shichibukai. Melly said anxiously. Although Mary said this, he did not know the weight of 7 warlords of the sea. Really, Kaya still had that indifferent smile when she heard this. Then, he picked up List's bounty order and took a look at it. Then he collected his reward order. List updated the reward order, which is good news for her. In this way, she can know List's recent situation. Not only List, but also Usopp appeared on the bounty order. Melly picked up Luffy's bounty order and pointed at the back of Usopp's head to show it to Kaya. Yes, it seems that Usopp has also become famous together with Luffy. Kaya said with a smile. Half a month ago, Luffy still came to Cibro Island as in the original work. I also get along very well with Usopp, and we can get along with each other within a few words. Although there is no opponent like Crow. However, Kaya heard that Usopp was going to go to sea with Luffy, so she gave them the Melly designed by Melly. It can also be regarded as a kind of gift between friends when parting. Therefore, Wei Ya still had a deep impression on Luffy. Coco West Village. What's wrong, Jien? The rewards for Nuo Chigao and Nami have increased again. At this time, a villager walked up to Jien holding a newspaper. What about it? Let me see. After reading the reward orders and newspapers, Jien let out a long breath. I didn't expect that Nokigao has changed so much. She was so kind in the beginning, but now she kills so many people in the battle between the money pirates and Baroque works. Although Nokigao has been dyed black, that boy List is still very attentive to them. In just a few days, Nokigao has been trained like this. As long as they continue to become stronger, they will always be safe, so we don't have to worry. Alabasta, Your Majesty is in trouble, the prince consort is making headlines. Ikaram hurried to Cobra's office with a newspaper. Cobra took the newspaper and read it. His eyes were a little softer. But they were given a higher reward because of our Alabasta incident. Does Vivi know about this? Not yet. Princess Vivi has been sleeping in her room since she came back and she hasn't woken up yet. Ikaram said. Cobra twitched the corners of his mouth. He knew why Vivi hadn't slept until now. I guess I was exhausted last night. Okay, you go down. After Vivi gets up, just give her the newspaper. Cobra said helplessly. Hi, Ikaram responded and exited the room. As soon as Cobra was disturbed by this matter, he was not interested in dealing with official duties for a while. I walked directly to the window and looked at the scene outside. Do Vivi and List really have a future? Quote. Grand line, somewhere. When Hawkeye saw the newspaper, his eyes couldn't help but exude a sense of determination. Unexpectedly, after just 10 days of not seeing each other, they actually defeated Crocodile. It's interesting. Work hard to grow, List, work hard to grow, Roranoa. I have stayed at the top position in the world for too long. It's been a long time since I started to feel lonely. I hope you can grow up as quickly as possible and then come and please me. Every area of the Grand Line. Lord Snake, something bad is going to happen. A woman hurriedly came to Hancock with a newspaper. What's the matter? Hancock asked impatiently. 7 warlords of the sea crocodile were slain by the speed of List. Speed List? Where did this guy come from? Hancock couldn't stop thinking about who List was. List is the butcher who massacred the East Blue 16 branch. I'm not impressed at all. Crocodile was killed by a newcomer who just came from East Blue. Too useless. Such a person is actually the same 7 warlords of the sea as me. What do those Marines think? To actually choose such a useless guy, the I family's reputation will suffer for nothing. Hancock mocked. The Devil's Triangle. This guy Crocodile is really useless. To be killed by a rookie pirate group simply lowered the level of 7 warlords of the sea. List. Pray not to meet me, otherwise, I will definitely make you into a zombie. Quote. New World. Dressrosa. Foo. I didn't expect the sand crocodile to turn into a dead fish so quickly. Super fast List. Kuai people who have eaten the kuai fruit. I didn't expect you to show off your skills at Grand Line so quickly. But I look down upon you a little. I don't know what amazing moves you will do next, I'm really looking forward to it. The Whitebeard Pirates. La. I didn't expect that, of course, that sand crocodile brat who dared to challenge me would die in the hands of a newcomer. It seems that this time, East Blue really has a strong presence again. Whitebeard laughed after reading the newspaper. Dad, do you want to consider taking this guy in? Marco said with a smile. La. If he can get here, I will consider adopting him as my son. Wanokuni Ghost Island. La. I seem to have an impression of this guy. By the way, hockey is exposed, it's that guy. Super speed List. It's a pity that it's not zones. Otherwise, I would have taken you as my subordinate. IWC. This guy is quite handsome, but I don't know if he is of any use. My aunt took one look at List's photo and her eyes lit up. At almost 60 years old, she is still fertile and has been in estrus for many years. Red Hair Pirates. Captain, come and see, Luffy has gone to sea. What about Na? Luffy finally went to sea. The red-haired man liked it and grabbed the reward order and the newspaper. Without even looking at List, he directly looked for content related to Luffy. After reading this, showing a faint smile, the day has finally come. Time flies, and a few days pass. List's passion for dry-turning crocodile is gradually fading. In the past few days, List has not only led Chitong and others in basic training, but also accepted Zoro's challenge. A lot of time is spent developing new moves. You merge observation hockey with overclocking mode, and you realize God's vision. You gain super understanding. You used God's vision combined with super understanding, and after 2 days, you finally upgraded your super digestion to a new level. Your Ryoku Immortal Thief is becoming more and more perfect, and you discovered that the essence extracted by the Ryoku Immortal Thief can be transformed into armament hockey. After the Roku Immortal Thief upgrades, the size and quality of your armament hockey are rapidly increasing, and you begin to deduce a new usage mode of armament hockey. After 2 days of repeated deduction and practice, you can finally control the armed color and martial energy in your body freely and carry out out-of-body attacks. You understand emission. List manipulates the armament hockey in the body to flow. Then, he rushed towards Wajo, which had already been unsheathed in his hand. Wajo's sharp blade was quickly coated with a black and red energy film, and in addition, there was another energy flowing on the blade. List swung the knife casually. Whoosh! A black-red slashing wave shot out and flew hundreds of meters, kilometers, or 10,000 meters away until it was invisible in the distance and completely disappeared from List's vision. The slashing wave did not collapse. Emission slash, successful. List looked at this scene and couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in his heart. I couldn't help but say something pretentious. If heaven had not given birth to me, List, the art of swordsmanship would be as long as the night. Captain is so powerful. The girls nearby looked at this scene and looked at List with admiration. This guy has become stronger again. Zoro looked at this scene and felt a sense of urgency in his heart. No, I can't slack off anymore. If this continues, let alone surpass List, I'm afraid Kai Tong and others will catch up. I will continue to practice and I will practice hard. We must awaken the hockey and armament hockey in the shortest possible time. Johnny, Seiv. Zoro looked at Johnny and Seiv who were lying next to them. Brother Zoro. The two looked at Zoro, feeling numb. I want you to help me practice, Zoro said solemnly. Again, the two of them screamed in pain. This is not the first time Zoro has asked them to help him practice. It can be said that Zoro was completely stimulated by List in the past few days and began to practice crazily. Plus List has no reservations about them. Knowledge hockey and armament hockey's training method is fully open to everyone in the pirate group. After Zoro obtained the training methods of observation hockey and armament hockey, he has been letting Johnny and Seiv help him practice observation hockey. These days, Zoro is getting beaten up badly by Johnny and Seiv. But, in the end, it was not Zoro but Johnny and Seiv who complained about being tired. That is to say, Zoro practiced armament hockey and they were unable to help him. Zoro only asked List for advice and as bonus to help him practice. Otherwise, they will scream even more miserably. Stop being so nagging, hurry up. Zoro glared at the two of them angrily. I gave you a chance to beat me up, but you were so useless. It's simply an embarrassment to my elder brother. Hi. The two of them grimaced, each picked up a wooden stick and walked towards Zoro. Zoro also covered his eyes with a piece of black cloth. Come on, don't be merciful, give me your all, swing the stick with the intention of killing me, Zoro said in a deep voice, sitting cross-legged on the deck. Then we're not welcome. Brother Zoro, don't blame us if you die. The two turned their resentment into motivation and swung the wooden sticks at Zoro's head. Zoro dodged attack after attack with ease. However, the two of them swung dozens of times, and one of them would hit Zoro. As time goes on, Zoro was beaten more and more often. And Zoro's spirit, will, and perception have become more condensed, concentrated, and clear than ever before after being beaten again and again. A buzzing sound. At some point, Zoro's body seemed to have opened a door. The world became extremely clear under his perception. The breathing of all things, the rhythm of the wind, the malice of people, everything is revealed in his perception. Next, the attacks launched by Johnny and Seiv were easily dodged by Zoro. Again and again, the more they waved, the more shocked they felt, and the more they waved, the more powerless they felt. In the end, they even began to doubt life. At this time, List had noticed Zoro's abnormality and couldn't help but smile. Zoro has successfully awakened observation hockey. Awakened, no wonder Johnny and Seiv couldn't hit him no matter how hard they hit. Everyone suddenly realized. It seems that I have to work hard, otherwise, trying to catch up with Captain Zoro is just empty talk. Chitong muttered to himself. I also silently began to practice harder. Hill, Yulin, and Shizuka had always targeted Chitong. Seeing her redoubling her practice, they also silently followed suit. When the three of them moved, the other girls were naturally too embarrassed to watch anymore. Naturally, it also rolled up. As soon as they rolled up, everyone in the entire pirate group couldn't stay still and rolled up one after another. List looks at this crazy, positive atmosphere, laughs. That's how it should be. The goal of our money pirates is to conquer the new world. If we don't work hard now, when will we work hard? If you don't get stronger now, you will no longer have a place in the money pirates in the future. That night, Captain's cabin. Ku. As Robin screamed for the last time, he rolled his eyes and fainted. List glanced at Nami, Nokigao, and Robin on the bed. There are some things in my heart that are still unfinished. A few days ago, List exchanged all the gold and jewelry on the ship for Baileys in Alabasta, the port city of Rapeseed. Plus those Baileys that Nami had looted before. A total of 650 million belly were collected. List left a reserve fund of 100 million for the pirate group. Just spend all the remaining 550 million Baileys in Krypton gold. Then, add 30 points of Midas to the spirit. 25 points are added to the body. At this time, his body had reached 75. The spirit has also reached 70. Great energy, even if overclocking is turned on. Nami and 3 people are not enough for him. Each and every one of them was killed by him and their armor was thrown away. At this time, List couldn't help but think of the charming patterns of Chitong, Hill, Yulin, Shizuka and Xiao Lian. My heart feels hot. It's time to collect them. Well, who should we start with? Let's start with Xiao Lian. When List thought about the abilities that the nursing fruit brought to Xiao Lian, her heart couldn't help but tremble. Then, let go of Robin. Putting on a pair of beach shorts, she walked towards Xiao Lian's room. Xiao Lian's room was not locked. In other words, on this floor, except for List and Nami's rooms, which are usually locked. No one else has a habit of locking their rooms. List gently opened the door to Xiao Lian's room and walked in. List deliberately made some small noises, and Xiao Lian quickly woke up. Xiao Lian, it's me. List got into Xiao Lian's quilt and said softly. Captain. Xiao Lian quickly woke up. Smell List's masculine scent and feel the temperature from List's strong body. His breathing gradually became rapid. The heartbeat also gradually accelerated. Shyly and with a hint of expectation, he asked, Captain, it's so late at night, if you don't sleep, why are you here with me? I can't sleep, so I want you to sleep with me, Xiao Lian, is that okay? List said softly in Xiao Lian's ear. Yes, Xiao Lian is willing. When Xiao Lian heard List's direct words, she felt her blood rush to her brain, and joy surged in her heart. The girl responded shyly but boldly. After List heard this, he kissed Xiao Lian's pink lips without hesitation. The next day, the sun shines brightly. The weather is calm and sunny. Xiao Lian massaged List as usual. It's just that at this time, she was less restrained and more boundless in love with List. The look in List's eyes almost made him cry. In her 17-year-old life, she didn't know what it was like to be a woman until last night. It was List who made her realize the joy of being a woman. Next to them, Nami, Robin and Nuo Chigao seemed to have noticed the change in Xiao Lian. I couldn't help but think of the scene yesterday when they were killed and left without their armor. Immediately express your welcome to Xiaozi to join us. Anyway, they couldn't satisfy List. One more person to share the firepower for them. It's not too late for them to be grateful, and there will be no jealousy at all. Xiao Lian, you were very tired last night, why don't you get more rest? Nami said with a smile. Sister Nami, I'm used to getting up early and doing morning exercises with everyone. Xiao Lian said shyly. She is not an idiot, so she naturally understands what Nami means. Originally, she wanted to hide her relationship with List. Unexpectedly, people saw through it at a glance. Don't you feel any discomfort? Nuochi asked with a smile. No, Xiao Lian said a little confused. It's the ability to nurse the fruit that's repairing her wounds. Robin quickly figured out the problem and said with a half smile. That's it. Nami and Nokigao suddenly realized. Especially Nami, at this time, she finally felt a little envious of Xiao Lian who owned the devil fruit. Also got a little idea of devil fruit. List, I want devil fruit too. Nami said looking at List. I've already featured a few for you. If you're lucky, you'll be able to have your own devil fruit soon. List glanced at Nami and smiled. What devil fruit are you looking for me? Nami asked. Thunder fruit, Menman fruit, lion fruit. List said. These 3 devil fruits are what List is most confident of getting. It is also the most suitable for Nami. These 3 devil fruits are not simple. List, do you know where they are? Robin couldn't help but interrupt after hearing this. If I didn't know, how could I think of planning these 3 devil fruits for Nami? List said with a faint smile. Can you tell me about these 3 devil fruits? Nami suddenly became interested after hearing this. Okay, let me tell you about it. The first is the thunder fruit. This devil fruit should be considered one of the strongest Logia devil fruits. As long as you eat it, You are a powerful Logia demon fruit power. Now, this devil fruit was eaten by a guy named Enel. This time we went to Gaia, so we could meet him. The gate fruit is Paramesh's devil fruit, which was now eaten by a guy named Bluno. That Bluno is also on our route, right in the capital of Seven Waters. This devil fruit may not give you much fighting ability, Nami, but it can make you extremely good at running away and dodging. Once you can develop the air door and space door, as long as you just want to run away, others will not be able to hit you at all. As for lion fruit, also a Paramesh's devil fruit. Its power is not inferior to thunder fruit at all. Still on Golden Lion today. Now I don't know much about his schedule. To get this devil fruit, you need some luck. Quote, Golden Lion, is that the legendary pirate Golden Lion from the same era as Pirate King Roger and Whitebeard? Robin asked, slightly moved. Yes, that's him. List nodded. Golden Lion is not weak, is he? Are you so confident that you can defeat him? Robin looked at List in surprise. There is no absolute certainty, but there is still a 20% certainty. List said with a faint smile. If it was Golden Lion at his peak, List would naturally not want to start a war with him so early. However, at this time, Golden Lion's legs were disabled and there was still a rudder stuck on his head. His strength is less than 30% of what he was at his peak. List feels that with his current strength, it shouldn't be difficult to defeat Golden Lion. After all, in the original work, Luffy was able to defeat even Haki. Although, in the plot version, Luffy's hang-up is a bit too big. However, Golden Lion's appearance so early is enough to show that his strength has dropped a lot. That's right, Robin smiled gently and chose to believe List's words. Because, in her eyes, List is also a man who is good at creating miracles. Zero. Crocodile has been traversing the sea for so many years, but he still killed him. He said he could defeat the Golden Lion. Then Robin dared to believe what he said. With so many women on board, I guess only Nami would let you spend so much effort. Robin said with a smile. After hearing this, Nami was even more moved. He rushed directly to List, kissed him hard on the face, and said with a smile, List, thank you. List smiled faintly without explaining. At this time, just admit it silently. The truth is actually not what Robin said. Because he had the idea of these 3 devil fruits a long time ago. If everything goes well, thunder fruit can be given to Nami. Let her increase her strength. However, he will not give up the Menman fruit and the lion fruit, and he will still try his best to capture them. Needless to say how practical lion fruit is, Golden Lion has proven it to the world. In List's mind, the gate fruit is also a strategic level fruit. If you can use the gate fruit to develop a space gate that can span infinite distances. Not only can he go back to visit Kaya and Vivi at any time to relieve their lovesickness. You can also let them, the money pirates, carry out cross-border operations at any time. If the money pirates master this ability, they will be able to advance and retreat freely, fight 0.1 wherever they want, and go wherever they want. Several people chatted. Suddenly, voices came from the observation deck. Report to the captain, there is an island 20 kilometers ahead. Have you arrived at Gaia Island yet? List stood up and walked towards the bow of the ship. Nami and others followed closely behind. Orchid Shizuka quickly handed over the binoculars. List took the telescope and looked forward. Sure enough, we saw an island. The entire regiment is ready to land. List doesn't care if this is Gaia Island. So many days on board. Now that I encounter an island, I have to go down and take a breath. Hi, the fleet docked. List unleashes God Vision and sweeps across the island. There are many people on the island, but none of the auras were powerful enough for List to take it to heart. In this case, there is no need to specifically tell your subordinates anything. Except for the squadrons who stayed behind in the fleet, everyone else is free to move around. List said. Roar, everyone on the boat cheered. Sailing is actually quite boring. Being able to go ashore, absolutely no one likes to stay on the boat. Soon, except for a squadron guarding the fleet, others flooded into the island. Hey, why are we so unlucky? We finally got to the shore, but we have to watch the ship. A pirate from the 4th squad couldn't help but wailed as he watched his companions from other squads leave one by one, talking and laughing. There's no way, it used to be the first 3 squadrons that watched the ship. Now of course it's our turn. It will be fine after a while. In the days to come, it will be their 56, 78 and 8 teams that will be responsible for watching the ship. Quote. That's right. Okay, it's useless to talk about this, let's just have a drink. I also secretly hid a few bottles of good wine at the last banquet, so I'm giving you an advantage today. Quote. You are such a thief. Why are you still standing there in a daze? Why don't you go get the wine quickly? List took the girls around the island. Buy clothes, daily necessities, and taste local specialties. But it took several hours. Afterwards, List took Nami and others to a desolate no-man's land. List, what are we doing here? Nami asked with some confusion. I'm ready to test my speed. List said. List strengthened his body and spirit to over 70. He himself wanted to see how fast he was now. On the boat before. He couldn't test it. Now that we have landed, we are down to earth and we have to test it no matter what. That's right, Nami suddenly realized. You guys stay here for now while I go around for a few laps. List said. Good. Nami finished speaking. Whoosh. List disappeared instantly. Twice the speed of sound. Twice the speed of sound. 3 times the speed of sound. 4 times the speed of sound. 5 times the speed of sound. After my body reached 70, even if I didn't enter the overclocking state, I actually reached 5 times the speed of sound. List had a little surprise. It seems that after the body exceeds 50, every time the body is strengthened, the speed increase will increase. In that case, let's try the speed in overclocking mode again. Muttering to himself, List instantly entered overclocking mode. The figure that had already reached 5 times the speed of sound accelerated again. 6 times the speed of sound. 7 times the speed of sound. 7.5 times the speed of sound. The speed reached 7.5 times the speed of sound, twice as fast as before. List was overjoyed. My daughter is here to save you, and everyone can go there. As for Admiral, if I leave, they won't be able to keep him. Quote. List was in a great mood and completely let himself go around the entire Gaia Island, running at full speed several times. Just returned to Nami and others. Back. Nami looked at List coming back and asked curiously, how do you feel? Very good. My speed now is more than double that of a few days ago. It has reached 7.5 times the speed of sound. List smiled happily. So fast? Robin asked in surprise. The speed of sound is 340 meters per second. 7.5 times is 2,500 and 500. In other words, today's List can run 2.5 kilometers per second. Too exaggerated. Is this the speed a human can achieve? That's right, it's that fast. List smiled proudly. You are fat and you are out of breath. I remember Robin said before that there is an admiral in the marine named Kizaru, and his speed can reach the speed of light. In comparison, you seem so slow. Nami couldn't help but joke. I heard what others said too. Robin explained with a shrug. Don't listen to their nonsense. Do you know how fast the speed of light is? It's 300,000 kilometers per second. At this speed, even a needle can penetrate the earth. Kizaru, can he do it? If he could do it, the 4 emperors would have put their tail between their legs and become a human being. They would still dare to be as arrogant as they are now. His speed is a boast, but mine is real. One day, when we face each other, he might not be faster than me. List laughed. Hey, you're the best. Nami couldn't help but joke after hearing List's words. Okay, don't stand here anymore, we should go back. List shook his head and smiled. Going back? Nami asked somewhat unhappily. How long have you been off the ship? Are you going back again? I'm going to take you to meet Enel. List said. Where does that guy live? Nami asked. Heaven, List said, pointing to the sky above. Heaven. Nami glanced at List with an expression as if you were playing tricks on me. Is there really a sky island up there? Robin is very knowledgeable. When I heard List's words, I immediately thought of Sky Island. Robin is still well informed, unlike Nami-chan who is empty-headed and has no knowledge at all. List joked. I used to praise her as a good wife, but now I start to dislike her again. Huh, men are just big pig hooves. Nami snorted unhappily. Sky Island, what does it mean? Does it mean an island floating in the sky? Noki asked curiously. That's right, that's what it means. Before, I always thought it was a legend, but I didn't expect that Sky Island actually existed. Robin said with a faint smile. Then how should we go up? Nuochi raised her head and looked at the sky, asking in confusion. It's natural to ask the locals for help with this kind of thing. List said with a faint smile. Let's go. List's local people. It's not the garbage on Gaia Island, but the descendants of Mont Blanc Nolando. The Mont Blanc coolie guide who wanted to prove that his ancestors did not lie. After List returned to the fleet with Nami and others. Seeing that Zoro and others have not returned yet, he asked people to prepare a small boat that could accommodate 20 people. Then, he took Nami and other girls to visit Mont Blanc coolie guide. When List and others arrived at the Mont Blanc house, Mont Blanc Coolet, Guide, the ape, and the orangutan are all there. They saw the money number coming. Instantly alert. Who are you? What are you doing here? The big ape asked immediately. My name is List, List said with a faint smile. I came here specifically to visit Mr. Coolie Guide. List, that big pirate with a bounty of 200 million belly, super fast List. Coolie Guy was shocked when he heard List's words. Then he looked at the pirate flag on the money. That's right, it's the money pirate flag, that's right. But, a big pirate like List would actually come to visit an unknown person like him. What is happening? Yes, it's me. List nodded and admitted his identity frankly. A big shot like you. Come to me, what's the matter? Coolie Guide asked List with some caution. I want to go up and have a look, but I don't know when the sky current will break out, so I want to ask you for advice. List pointed at the sky and said. You came here for Sky Island. Guy Coolie said in great surprise. That's right, List nodded. Do you really believe that Sky Island exists? Guy Coolie asked in shock. You know, even the residents of Gaia Island don't believe in the legend of Sky Island. Unexpectedly, List, a pirate with a bounty of 200 million, believed him. Why don't you believe it? List smiled faintly. It's a pity that many people don't believe it now. Coolie Guy said bitterly. It can only be said that they are short-sighted. This world is so amazing. Not to mention Sky Island, even if there are islands in the deep sea, it is not impossible. List laughed. Ha 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 ha, I haven't met someone as interesting as you for a long time. Guy was shocked and laughed happily at the same time. He is indeed a big pirate. Those short-sighted idiots on the island are completely different. There will be an upwelling current at 10 o'clock tomorrow, but please forgive me, your ship is too big. It would be difficult to rush to Sky Island in such a big pirate ship. Guy Coolie said with great kindness, reminded. I know, so I got a boat ready. List said. It's best to transform the boat into a mode suitable for flying. By the way, if you really want to go to Sky Island, you'd better catch a guide bird. After all, before and after the updraft current erupts, the surrounding magnetic field is very unstable, and the pointer may not be useful when the time comes. The guide bird's head always faces south. It will not change due to changes in the magnetic field. Moreover, if you go up there, it might still be useful. Coolie Guide said. Thank you for the reminder. List nodded. Afterwards, we chatted for a few more words. List then said goodbye to Coolie Guide. Coolie Guy looked at the money ship going away and said expectantly, I hope they can really go to Sky Island. Boss, why don't we go there and have a look tomorrow? Said the gorilla. Let's forget it. Although we had a pleasant chat just now, we are not familiar with each other after all, so it would be inappropriate to rush there. Pipe pipe. Okay. The orangutan and the great ape heard this and had no choice but to leave it at that. When List and others returned to the dock, everyone else is back too. The boat List needed was also found by the people from Akin's fourth team. Everyone has a meeting. List spoke. Soon, Yulin and other girls moved out a long table and placed it on the deck. Just like last time, List took the main seat. Zoro and other captains sat on the left side of List, while Nami and other women sat on the right side of List. Have you ever heard of the legend of Sky Island? List looked at everyone and said. I heard people talking about it just now when I was waiting in the bar, but many people didn't believe that Sky Island really existed. Zhang took this as a joke and a source of conversation. Johnson said. List, you suddenly mentioned this. Could it be that you want to go to Sky Island? Zoro asked. Yes, there will be an upstream current at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I am going to take advantage of this upstream current and fly to Sky Island. List said. Interesting. Zoro suddenly became interested after hearing this. Are we all going together? Rocky asked worriedly. When I first passed Upside Down Mountain, 3 pirate ships of the Money Pirates sank there forever. If List wanted to take everyone up to the sky along the current, it would be more dangerous than crossing the Upside Down Mountain. After Rocky finished speaking, everyone looked at List. Like Rocky, they all felt that it would be inappropriate for everyone to go to Sky Island together. No, this time, I plan to take only 20 people to Sky Island. Then we will stay there for 2 days and then come down. List said. 20 people, count me in, Zoro said immediately. Zoro has never lacked the spirit of adventure and interesting things like this. How could he not participate? Okay, besides Zoro, who else wants to go to Sky Island? List glanced at everyone playfully. Captain, I want to go. Wadsbones said. List nodded and asked, is there more? Captain, I want to see it too. Ajin said. And me, Johnson said. Count me in, Rocky said. Chang Lin and Luochi, you two, leave one behind. List said. In that case, let me quit. Rocky said. Dino, you go too. List glanced at Ah-san and said. Hi. Ah-san was personally called by List, so naturally he couldn't refuse and said with a sad face. Okay, the number of people has been decided. Zoro, Johnson, Bonus, and Dino, the 4 of you will go to the main island with me. The rest, stay and guard the ship, said List. Hi, everyone responded in unison. By the way, the small boat we are going to take tomorrow also needs to be renovated. This is the remodeling design drawing. The shipwrights must complete the modification for me tomorrow morning. List glanced at the small ship, then entered the overclocking mode, temporarily drew the modification pattern, and then handed it to a cadre responsible for managing the bottom of the ship. The cadre took one look and felt that List was very professional in painting. It was not random modification and would not cause any hidden dangers. He immediately nodded and said, Hi, I will urge them to modify the ship overnight. Chitong, Hill, you are responsible for catching the guide bird. List said. Hi, the 2 girls responded in unison. Soon, the Money Pirates each performed their duties and got busy. 2 o'clock in the morning. Chitong and Hill came back in embarrassment after catching a guide bird. 3 o'clock in the morning. The conversion of the boat has been completed. At 5 o'clock in the morning, Zoro got up and started practicing. 6 o'clock in the morning. List woke up and led a group of girls to do a daily basic practice. As the sun rises, everyone had breakfast together. List took the girls and 4 men and boarded the boat. Then, escorted by the entire fleet, we arrived at the sea area where the updraft current was about to break out. Hello, Wong, at this time. Magnetic fields are very chaotic. On the sea, there were strong winds and huge waves. Not far away, an Uzumaki is spawning. Escorted by 2 boats, the small boat List and others took approach to Uzumaki and escaped. The boat List and others were on sailed directly into Uzumaki. There were strong winds and waves outside, but there was deathly silence inside Uzumaki. Compared to the outside, the deep silence inside Uzumaki is even more frightening. However, List is here. All the girls have a backbone, even if they are a little scared, they still calm down. Dong. Time passed by second by second. There was sudden movement inside this dead silence of Uzumaki. A column of water lifted the boat. However, it completely broke out. The water column rushed straight to the sky. The boat also flew into the sky along with this soaring current. Above the vast sea of clouds, a small boat is parked on the sea. This is Sky Island. Everyone who came back to their senses looked at the sea area, with unspeakable surprise flashing in their eyes. There is a sea in the sky, and the sea and clouds coexist. This vast world is truly magical. This is not Sky Island yet, it can only be regarded as the White Sea at best, and Sky Island is still above it. List smiled faintly. Still up there, everyone looked shocked and looked up at the sky. However, the sky at this time was completely blue, and there was really nothing visible up there. Look over there, List said, pointing to the clouds on the horizon. Come on, let's go there. List said. Under the control of everyone, the boat continued to move forward. Not long, the boat arrived at the Gate of Heaven entry point. There was a click. A short, thin old woman who looked like a sour plum came out of a small door on the inside of the gate of heaven. Without saying anything, she took a photo directly towards the boat of List and others. Then he slowly said, "Welcome, are you here for sightseeing or fighting?" List, look, this old woman has a pair of wings behind her back. Nami immediately noticed the pair of wings behind Amazon and said in surprise, "Is it an angel?" Everyone looked at it carefully and couldn't help but murmured. Bai was looking forward to it. It turns out that angels look like sour plums. Disillusionment. Everyone showed their disgust without concealment. In this regard, Amazon, the supervisor of the Gate of Heaven, showed no expression at all. For everyone's disillusioned expressions, she's seen too much. Not only was she not disgusted with this, but she was complacent about it. Her mentality can be described by that person's words, "Every cause must have its effect, and your retribution will be me." Are you here for sightseeing or to fight? Amazon repeated what he just said. Old lady, we are here for sightseeing, Nami said with a friendly smile. They are here to cause trouble for Enel. Not here to push the entire Sky Island. Unrelated persons. She still tried not to involve the other party. Well, it's 1 billion ace coins per person for sightseeing. There are 20 people on your boat, so you need to pay 20 billion. Amazon said. 20 billion, you are robbing money. Although Nami didn't know what the ancient ace coins were, when she heard the word 20 billion, Nami, who always valued money more than her life, screamed on the spot, cried out. What will happen if we don't pay? Nami asked again. You can pass even if you don't pay, Amazon said. That's right, Nami smiled. Then we won't be friends. List glanced at Nami and said nothing. Anyway, he had been planning to do this from the beginning. Yeah, I understand. Then, Amazon called Express Shrimp. The two large pincers of the Express Shrimp instantly caught the boat List and others were riding on. Everyone, sit down, it's time to speed up. List reminded. People trust List. They all grabbed the things next to them. The next moment, time moved. It's like a roller coaster, grabbing the boat and heading towards the White Sea 3,000 meters above. Although everyone was prepared because of List's reminder. But, after the Express Shrimp started to move, still screamed in fright. After the boat leaves, Amazon, the surveillance officer at Heaven's Gate, immediately reported to his superiors, please note that there are 20 people entering the country illegally. If anyone looks at this scene today, they will definitely be able to help shouting, "Sixth, you are actually fishing for law enforcement." Boom, just under 3 minutes. The Express Shrimp then pulled the boat to the Bye-Bye Sea. After leaving the boat behind, the Express Shrimp disappeared. Is this Sky Island? Right, look, there are plants over there. It's so magical. Plants actually grow in the clouds. Send the boat over. Soon, the boat docked. Everyone got off the boat. Step on these soft clouds. Everyone was like a boy from the south going to the north to see the snow, with curiosity in their eyes. Step on it here, touch it there. Full of freshness. Look, there is a coconut tree here, and there are many coconuts on the tree. I don't know 80 what the coconuts on Sky Island are like. I really want to try them. Someone go pick some coconuts. All come, Chitong said. Later, it was unsheathed during the rainy night. Trouble wind. Chitong used the swordsmanship learned from List. Instant time. A tornado suddenly appeared, rolled towards the coconut trees. Bang bang bang. All of a sudden, countless coconuts fell from the trees. The girls ran over to pick them up one after another, and gave one to each of List, Nami, Robin, Noki and others. Each of them also kept one. Then, I couldn't wait to taste it. However, no matter how many tricks they use, they still can't open it. This coconut is so hard, is it really edible? The girls began to doubt. Let me try. In the end, Chitong chose to use force to solve the problem. Xiaoyi Shiger was pulled out by her again. Chitong also entered the fighting state instantly, and quickly slashed at the coconut with Xiaoyi Shiger. There was a pop. The coconut was split in half on the spot. Chitong picked up the one filled with coconut juice and drank it directly. Suddenly his eyes lit up. So sweet. As he said that, he drank the remaining coconut juice in one gulp. Chitong, open it for me. No problem. Kai Tong slashed all the coconuts in half with a few swishes of his knife. However, Her knife skills are very good. The positioning is also very good. Those coconuts were split open by Panic's notiginseng. There was just a small opening on it. Not much coconut sweat is wasted. For a time, the girls drank to their heart's content. Humph. At this time, a chuckle came from not far away. Attracted everyone's attention. At this time, Chitong and others discovered that a girl with golden hair appeared near them out of nowhere. There is also a cloud fox at the girl's feet. Hello. Canis greeted the girls politely when she saw them looking at her. Haha. The girls immediately understood that this sentence meant a friendly greeting, and they all returned Canis's bow. Hello, are you an original resident of Sky Island? Yulin glanced at the wings behind Canis and asked in a friendly manner. Yes, my name is Canis. It's called Cece. Is my partner. Are you from Qinghai? Canis asked in the same friendly manner after introducing himself and Yunhu. Qinghai, does it mean the sea below? Yulin asked. Yes, Canis nodded. Yes, we are from Qinghai. Yulin nodded. We came here looking for. Suddenly, there was a roar. A pillar of thunder fell from the sky. Landed on Angel Island. Everyone was immediately startled by this sudden change. Canis, who was chatting with everyone, also had a flash of panic in his eyes. His face instantly turned pale. I'm sorry, I have something else to do, so I'm leaving first. Canis said, then hugged Yunhu and left in a hurry. What happened? The girls were a little surprised by Canis's departure, but they did not stop him. Instead, they all looked curiously in the direction where the god's tailoring fell. List, what's going on? Nami, who was resting on a cloud chair with List, asked quickly. Someone provoked Enel and he punished him. List stood up and said. Is it him? Nami was slightly startled. It's him. List nodded. I originally wanted to play here for a while before looking for him, but now that he has dropped the god's tailor on Angel Island. Then he should have noticed us too. Just wait for him to send people to come and cause trouble for us. Why don't you just call the door? Okay, Nami nodded. Everyone, get back to the boat. List shouted and returned to the boat immediately. When everyone saw this, they rushed back to the boat. Then the boat continued to set sail and sailed towards Adu, the island of gods. At the same time, Apayado, island of gods. Enel, who has been paying attention to List and his group with his heart, saw List and others after seeing God's sanction. Not only did they not escape, but they sailed towards the island of gods. While he was surprised, he also showed a joking smile. It's interesting, it's so interesting. If you don't want to run away, you're here to die. In that case, let's have some fun with you. Hope you guys can bring me some fun. Quote, as the boat approaches Apayado, the island of the gods. A flash of surprise flashed in everyone's eyes. There is an island with dirt on Sky Island. This island was washed up by updraft currents. List said with a faint smile. Also Gaia's other half. So, this is the golden land Shandora mentioned by the big liar Nolando. Robin said excitedly. Golden land. Nami also became excited after hearing this. However, the two people are excited about different things. Robin is excited about archaeology. Nami was excited purely by the gold. That's right, the golden land Shandora is on this island. After we take care of Enel, we will also collect some gold. List smiled faintly. It's great, this trip to Sky Island. When Nami heard List's words, she excitedly hugged List's neck and cheered. List smiled faintly. Soon I found a river made of clouds nearby. Let the boat follow the river and enter the island. List said to the men on the boat. Hi, Johnson and others responded, then steered the boat along the cloud river and entered the island of gods, Apayado. After entering Apayado, looking at the past, there are all ancient trees covered with moss. These trees are so big. Nuo Chigao exclaimed, although, there are many novelties on the Grand Line. But such a big tree is still rare. Of course, before the island was washed up, these trees were probably already huge. Today, they have washed up on Sky Island along with this island for more than 400 years. They are all over 400 years old, how could they not be big? Robin said with emotion while looking at these trees. Somebody is coming. At this time, List suddenly said. There are 4 in total. Zoro took over List's words and finished. Not bad. List looked at Zoro and smiled in appreciation. Humph, you're still far away. Zoro glanced at List and said. Also awakened as observation haki. His observation haki is indeed a lot worse than List's. Come on, these 4 people will be left to you. List said. No problem. Zoro smiled confidently. Sir, I also want to join the war. At this time, Chitong said. In that case, then you should take Dino's place. List glanced at Kai Tong and did not refuse. Hi. Chitong showed a pure smile to List. Hi. The third brother also breathed a long sigh of relief. Facing this unknown opponent, if you can resist taking action, in fact, you don't want to take action at all. Now that Chitong takes his place, it couldn't be better. Soon, the 4 figures flew out from the depths of the dense forest. Cha Baba, there are so many people, how should we allocate these opponents? Shaddily, one of the 4 priests who was as fat as a ball, said while screaming strangely. Destroy the ships first, only those who survive are qualified to be our opponents. The leader of the 4 priests, said. As the eldest of the 4 priests, his opinion is the decision. The other 3 had no objection at all. Let me. Shira, one of the 4 priests, said, and then he made the strange bird swoop down towards the boat. This opponent is mine. Daz Bonus yelled. Jump up. He instantly blocked Shira's swooping spear and pulled him to the side. Cha Baba, since Shira is useless, let me take over. Shaddily said. Hitting the boat like a ball. He's mine, Johnson roared, instantly entering the half-orc state. He jumped up and blocked Shadley from ramming the ship. Just like Dazbonis, he held Shadley and rolled to the side to get out of the hospital. Then a fierce fight broke out. It seems that the other party has a few tricks up his sleeve, so let me try too. Getazi, one of the 4 priests, said. He swooped down towards the boat again. Chitong, he is yours. Zoro said. From his perspective, he can naturally see that among the 4, Wei is the strongest. 0. His vision is so high, how could he possibly see such a weak opponent as Getazi? If you want to pick the strongest opponent. Red Eyes glanced at Zoro. No, this guy is too weak and is no match for me. I don't want to fight this guy. Chitong refused. I am the battle captain. If List doesn't take action, the strongest enemy can only be mine. Do you understand? This is the rule, Zoro said. Hill, this guy has given up on you. Chitong did not argue with Zoro, nor did he have any thoughts of taking action again. He said directly to Hill next to him. Okay, Hill responded, disappeared instantly, opened the sky and split the earth. Hill added the fruit's power to his arms and sword. When the sword is swung out, it is as powerful as all others. Boom, the moment the 2 touched each other. A burst of crazy vigor shot out. Getazi flew out on the spot and hit a big tree like a cannonball. The bark of the tree was smashed to pieces. Getazi took Hill's blow and died on the spot, and even the shell on his body was broken. Boring. Hill curled his lips and turned around to return to the boat. Waste. Ohm looked at Getazi who died on the spot and couldn't help but cursed. Then, he waved the iron cloud sword and swooped down towards the boat. I will destroy you all along with this broken ship. In this case, you should say it when you sleep, there is everything in your dreams. Zoro snorted and drew his sword to meet him. Chapter 91. Zoro kept Ohm out of the boat. In fact, the 4 priests were either defeated or restrained. No one could threaten List and the boat they were on. The boat continued to move forward. After killing them, catch up yourself. List said to the 3 people in the battle. Understood. The 3 of them responded in unison. Forget it, Johnson and Bonus, are you sure Zoro can catch up? Nami suddenly interjected. Yes. List patted his head and shouted. Johnson, Bonus, you 2 remember to take Zoro with you later, don't let him run around. Hi. After spending so many days together, Johnson and Bonus already knew Zoro's attributes and quickly agreed. But Zoro was a little unhappy. While facing Ohm, he yelled angrily at List. Asshole List, what do you mean when you say 3, 4, 7? Are you calling me a road idiot? No matter what, Zoro will never admit that he is a road fool. He is also very concerned about others saying that he is a road idiot. No, I just let you go together. List shrugged and smiled. The boat went farther and farther. Zoro looked at the boat going away and snorted coldly. HMPH, I'm not a roadie. How can a mere forest trap me? Said. Then he went all out and fought with Ohm crazily. Today's Zoro is more powerful than the Zoro in the original game. Not only did he learn List's silent Shunpo, he also controlled the Wind of Trouble in advance, and even awakened Observation Haki. Ohm has all the abilities he has. So, the whole battle went down. Zoro almost pressed down on Ohm and hit him. The two of them fought fast. In less than 2 minutes, they exchanged no less than 300 moves. In the end, Ohm was completely defeated by Zoro. Zoro is a samurai. After defeating the opponent, no more taking the other person's life. He just glanced at Ohm, who had completely lost his fighting ability, put the knife back into its sheath, and then glanced at Johnson and Bonus, who were still fighting. He shrugged and said, "It's really slow. I don't know how long it will take to wait for them to finish off their opponents. If that's the case, then I'll go after List and the others first." Finished. Zoro left early. Both List and Zoro seemed to believe that Johnson and Bonus can defeat their opponents. Not long after Zoro left, Bonus also took care of his opponent. Although, he has yet to feel blessed by Observation Haki. However, possessing the quick cut fruit, he is simply incomprehensible to those who have not understood the secret of cutting iron. Shira, one of the 4 priests, is pretty good though. But I didn't miss the secret of cutting iron. Against Bonus, flying will bring a little trouble to Bonus. During the whole process, Bonus suppressed Shira almost the whole time. After Shira defended for a long time, he finally lost his position. He was chopped into countless pieces by Bonus. After solving the opponent, Bonus breathed a sigh of relief and looked up at Johnson's battle with Zoro. Well, Johnson is still fighting. He seemed to have met a powerful enemy. He is fighting with his opponent inextricably. Where's Zoro? Why did such a big man suddenly disappear? Where did this guy go? Bonus looked around but couldn't find him. It's over. There's no way I can complete the mission assigned to me by the captain. Why doesn't this guy have any self-awareness? If you have the attribute of being a wanderer, just stay well. Why don't you worry about it and run around everywhere? With his crazy attributes, even with Observation Haki, he probably won't be able to find the captain and the others. Bonus looked at the sky speechlessly. The other side. Johnson versus Shadley. It can be said that the two of them will meet good talents and meet their opponents in chess. Shadley has a plan. Johnson has not awakened Observation Haki, and it is difficult for him to hit Shadley. However, he also has an advantage, that is, he has thick skin and thick flesh. After eating the gorilla fruit, he completely transformed into a beast. His huge body of 5 to 6 meters tall could not even bear Shadley's several impacts. At most, it just feels a little painful. There is no way to make him lose his fighting ability. He relied on his thick skin and thick flesh to fight Shadley. The size gap between the two sides is not small. Johnson can be hit numerous times by Shadley. But Shadley couldn't be hit by Johnson once. Therefore, Johnson was not in a hurry during the battle. Always looking for opportunities. Soon, Johnson saw Shadley's flaw during the battle. So he quickly caught Shadley's feet. Then they started grabbing and smashing like crazy. It kept hitting until Shadley completely lost consciousness. Then he threw him to the ground. Returned to human form. I wonder, how are Zoro and Bonus? Johnson glanced around. All he saw was Ohm, who fell to the ground, and Shira, who was shattered to pieces. But he didn't see Zoro and Bonus, and he was dumbfounded. Where are the people? These two guys must have left first. Didn't the captain say that we should go together? How dare these two guys disobey the captain's orders? Just when Johnson was vomiting, Bonus suddenly emerged from behind a big tree. He shouted, "Don't talk nonsense, I didn't go against the captain's words, I was just looking for that guy Zoro." "Have you found it?" Johnson asked. "No, this guy is gone." Bonus shook his head. This guy never takes the captain's words to heart, but the captain's tolerance for him is ridiculously high. He probably escaped early after killing his opponent, and now he is probably lost in this forest. Johnson's mouth twitched. "What should we do now?" Bonus asked. "What else can we do? Of course we should follow the direction the captain and his companions are heading and search for them while rendezvousing with the captain. It's best if you can find it. If you can't find, it has nothing to do with us. It was Zoro who ran away in advance. There is nothing we can do." Johnson said. "That makes sense." Bonus nodded and said, The two then walked in the direction of the boat List was sailing on. At the same time, sanctuary. In the temple, Enel ate the apple with a jerk. All 4 priests were defeated. Interesting. In that case, let me go out and meet you personally. The words fell. I saw a flash of lightning. Enel has disappeared into the temple. Island of Gods. Apayado. In a forest without sunlight. Where's the boat? Where did this guy List take the boat? There's no plan at all, just running around, it's really not worrying at all. Zoro was ugly and didn't realize it, and even blamed List. Next, which direction should we go? Well, let's go to the east, the direction of the sun. Zoro muttered to himself, and then walked towards the south. However, he hasn't taken a few steps yet. There was a sizzling sound. Several electric lights flashed. A figure instantly appeared in front of Zoro. It's floating in the void. The person coming was none other than Enel. The reason why he went to Zoro first instead of List was simple. Because Zoro, Johnson, and Bonus are just snacks before meals to him. List is a real feast. Before eating a big meal. Naturally, I wanted to try the pre-dinner snacks first. As for why Zoro was the first one and not Johnson and Bonus, the reason is also very simple. Just because he is a person. There are 2 people over there. The weight of 2 people is naturally higher than that of 1 person. Are you Enel? The moment Zoro saw Enel, he immediately became vigilant. Before going to Sky Island, Zoro already knew the real purpose of their visit to Sky Island. Now the way Enel appears en route, accompanied by lightning, is undoubtedly the god of thunder Enel in List's mouth. "Ant, you shouldn't call this god by his name," Enel said with a flash of displeasure in his eyes. "God," Zoro said with a disdainful smile, "it just so happened that the battle just now wasn't enough. Now that you're here, I'll kill another god to enjoy myself." Zoro finished his words. He instantly drew his sword and struck at Enel. The whole action was completed in one go in a flash of lightning. 3rd generation Kidetsu instantly slashed into Enel's head. Pity. Not a drop of blood remained on Enel's head. Instead, he glanced at Zoro teasingly, reached out and pinched Zoro's 3rd generation ghost. Zoro's pupils shrank suddenly. He suddenly pulled out Shueiji again. Swinging towards Enel. Puff. A knife directly cut off Enel's hand that was holding 3rd generation Kidetsu. Then, quickly retreat. However, Enel is faster than him. Appeared behind him early. 1,000,000 volts. Zoro has already opened his observation haki. The moment Enel released the lightning attack, he quickly dodged to the side. Narrowly avoiding Enel's attack. You actually avoided it. It seems that you have also awakened your inner core. Enel was a little surprised. But, I wasn't too surprised. Continue to attack Zoro. Zoro dodged once, twice, but couldn't dodge the 3rd time. He wants to fight Enel to the death. Unfortunately, he has not yet awakened armament haki, so he cannot kill Enel at all. At this time, he finally realized how difficult the Logia fruit was. For people like them who have not yet awakened armament haki and do not have seastone weapons, it is simply incomprehensible. Sizzling. A bolt of lightning struck Zoro. The electricity instantly made Zoro twitch all over. The face is darkened and the hair is smoking. Hateful. Zoro fell directly to the ground. Although he was not dead, he also noticed that his body was so paralyzed that he could not control it at all. It's over. Enel looked at Zoro who was lying on the ground unable to move with a pair of dead fish eyes. He showed no mercy at all. Thunder and lightning condensed on his index finger. It shot directly towards Zoro. Does my journey only end here? List, you are preventing me from becoming the best swordsman in the world. However, I have to thank you for bringing me to the great voyage and letting me see the beauty of this world. Kuina, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't fulfill our agreement. At Zoro's last moment, countless thoughts flashed through his mind. He complained about List, was grateful to List, and missed Kuina. Very complicated. However, at this critical moment, in the lightning flash, a figure came from a distance. In time, he split the lightning shot towards Zoro. The person coming was none other than List. Just like Enel has been covering the entire Sky Island with his heart. List also used his observation haki to cover the entire island of gods, Apayado. After becoming aware of Enel's actions, he became alert. At first he thought Enel would come directly to him. He didn't expect it. Enel didn't go to him directly, but went to Zoro. Therefore, he was not in a hurry to take action. He just wanted to see it. Zoro, who has been trained by him, can support Enel for several rounds. Zoro really doesn't want to be instantly killed like in the original work. But there is no support for several rounds. He was knocked down by Enel. No surprises are surprises. Zoro's performance was completely within List's expectations. The reason was when Enel was about to kill Zoro, he took action decisively. List split Enel's thunder with one strike. There was no wave of hand. He swung the knife towards Enel with his backhand. Emission chases the moon. A black-red slash wave only 1 meter in size was seen shooting out. He slashed towards Enel quickly and quickly. In an instant, Enel felt chills all over his body. Don't dare to be careless in the slightest. It quickly turned into lightning and flashed to one side. Gee, whoosh, the moment Enel got out of the way. List quickly followed. The knife struck towards Enel quickly and urgently. Enel quickly waved the golden stick in his hand to block it. There was a pop. Wajo, who was blessed with armament haki, easily cut through Enel's golden stick like cutting tofu. At the same time, he slashed hard to Enel's shoulder. From top to bottom, the knife slid down. A long wound opened quickly from Enel's left arm to his right abdomen. For a moment, blood spurted out from Enel's chest crazily. You can actually hurt me. Enel was shocked and angry, and quickly distanced himself from List. At the same time, don't forget to use electrotherapy to stop bleeding and heal yourself. The frog at the bottom of the well can only pretend to be a god in this sky, but how can he know how big the world is and how strong the strong are? List said as he chased Enel. The moment he got closer, another knife struck at Enel. Enel was so frightened that he turned into a bolt of lightning and shot into the distance. However, List will leave him alone. He directly increased his speed to the limit and chased Enel. He arrived in front of Enel in an instant, raised his hand and swung the knife fiercely. How come you are so fast? Enel's face changed drastically. He, a thunder fruit user, was actually caught up with someone. It's incredible. Next moment, an arm flew out. Blood spurted out from the broken arm crazily. Ah! Enel screamed. Anger rushes to the brain. He didn't escape either. Directly counterattack List. 60 million volts Brontosaurus. I saw a thick, dragon-shaped thunder and lightning, slamming towards List. Crescent moon clashes. List held the knife with both hands and struck hard. I saw a black-red slash like a falling meteor. It split open Enel's thunder dragon like a broken bamboo, and slashed towards Enel's true form. Enel's expression changed again. He couldn't figure it out. Why is List's knife so scary? Not only can it split his lightning, but it can also hurt him. Enel was shocked, but he didn't forget to dodge. When the black-red crescent slash struck, he dodged the attack with great difficulty. Whoosh! After the black-red crescent moon was dodged, it continued to strike hundreds, thousands, or 10,000 meters away. Along the way, I don't know how many big trees and animals were split into 2 pieces. At this time, Enel was furious, but when he saw List's terrifying slashing wave. For a moment, I felt that my life was more important. Then it turned into a bolt of lightning and fled into the distance. Where Zoro fell, List chased Enel not long after he left. Johnson and Bonus heard the noise and rushed over from a distance. The noise seems to be coming from here. Look, there's a man lying there. It's Zoro. After the 2 men saw clearly that the man lying on the ground was Zoro, they quickly ran over. Hey, Zoro, are you okay? Chang Lin squatted down, patted the blackened Zoro's cheek, and asked loudly. Don't slap me in the face, I won't die. Zoro opened his eyes and glared at Johnson angrily. What's going on with you? What just happened? Johnson asked. I just met Enel and was shocked by him. Fortunately, List came over in time to save me. Zoro did not hide anything and directly told Johnson and Bonus about his experience. Is Enel so strong? He beat you like this? Johnson asked in shock. Isn't this nonsense? Enel is the Logia demon fruit power who ate thunder fruit. I haven't awakened armament haki yet, so I can't hit him at all. Zoro said angrily. Yes, Johnson suddenly realized. By the way, where is the captain? Bonus asked. Going after Enel, Zoro said solemnly. Enel is dead, Johnson said. Bonus also nodded, agreeing with Johnson's words. Stop talking about this, take me back first and let Xiaolian give me a massage. Otherwise, I don't know how long it will take to recover. Zoro said. On the money ship, Zoro also experienced Xiaolian's care and massage. Naturally, Xiaolian's nursing ability is very powerful. In his current situation, it's almost like being cured instantly. Good. Johnson directly carried Zoro on his back, and then he and Bonus continued to chase in the direction of the boat. At the same time, the island of gods, outside Apayado. At this time, a group of people wearing masks also appeared. They are all warriors of Sandia, the former owner of this island. There seems to be some movement in the forest. It is estimated that someone from Qinghai broke in again and had a conflict with Enel. This is better. Let the Qinghai people restrain the 4 god-tier officers for us, while we concentrate our firepower to kill Enel in one fell swoop and take back the ancestral land of our Sandians in one fell swoop. Set off. Whoosh whoosh. As soon as the words fell, those Sandians stepped on the skateboards equipped with flying shells and headed towards the forest. Another slashing wave shot out. Slashed towards Enel. Enel dodged the attacks narrowly. While running away, he threw countless bucket-sized thunderbolts towards List. However, before these thunderbolts could get close to List, they were destroyed midway by List's flying slashes. Enel's lightning is very powerful and very fast. But List is blessed with speed and emission Hockey's chop wave, making it faster and more powerful. After the slashing waves destroyed the lightning thrown by Enel, he continued to slash towards Enel, forcing Enel into a state of embarrassment. Rumble. However, Enel is lightning after all, with the help of Shinzang. He still dodged all List's attacks without any risk. Those attacks can only fly around. In an instant, countless large trees within a radius of several hundred meters were destroyed. For a time, I don't know how many birds were frightened. We can't continue like this. This guy is no slower than me. He keeps chasing me. If this continues, I will be hacked to death by him sooner or later. I must try my best to fight him to the death, only then can I make a comeback in the face of adversity. If you can't use it here, it will reach the sky. The sky is my home court. After Enel made his decision, he immediately changed the direction of his escape and shot towards the sky like a ray of lightning. List raised his eyebrows. He quickly stopped, changed direction, and chased Enel. At the same time, strike again. Crescent moon celestial. Whoosh. I saw a huge black and red slashing wave of tens of meters, slashing towards Enel quickly at more than 10 times the speed of sound. God's sanction. Enel roared. I saw a bright silver beam of light falling from the sky. Blast towards the black and red slashing wave soaring into the sky. Boom. The thunder beam roared. Each section is broken. The crescent moon rushes to the sky like a broken bamboo. He arrived in front of Enel in an instant and slashed at Enel. No. Enel's pupils shrank suddenly. I can't control that much. He quickly transformed into the element of thunder and lightning and dodged to one side. However, at this moment, he was still a step slower. There was a pop. Enel's 2 thighs were chopped off instantly. For a time, blood spilled into the sky. Ah! Enel let out a scream. His eyes turned red. He hates List so much for hurting him. Fight directly with List. For a moment, countless thunder and lightning poured out of Enel's body. 20 million volts Thor. As Enel manipulates lightning, the immeasurable thunder and lightning quickly condensed into an energy giant. The giant slapped List directly with his palm. Where the palm passed, wind and thunder suddenly appeared, and the void exploded. Well done. Let's have a showdown with this. Facing the giant palm struck by the god of thunder, List not only did not retreat, but instead laughed and waved the wajo in his hand. At this moment, List had no reservations. Directly pour all the armament Hockey in the body into the famous sword Cashew. Then, Fenrir swung out. I saw a black and red slashing wave that was hundreds of meters long and shot out, going straight towards the giant palm struck by the thunder god. This shocking showdown. There is no shortage of viewers. The boat that Nami and others were on happened to pass by an open space without big trees. When they looked up, they saw List and Enel fighting. Look, everyone, the captain and Enel are fighting. Chitong immediately noticed the battle at high altitude and shouted quickly. Everyone looked towards where Chitong was pointing. What a fierce battle. Captain, come on, kill Enel. The three Johnsons on the other side also saw the battle in the sky through a gap in the dense forest. That Enel can actually fight with the captain to such an extent. Zoro, you didn't lose unjustly. If you don't speak, I won't treat you as a mute. Zoro snorted and looked up at the sky. Give me time to fight this level of battle, and I will definitely experience it in the future. Zoro has always been arrogant and does not think that he cannot do what others can do. If you can't do it now, you will definitely be able to do it in the future. The Sandia warriors who were speeding through the forest were also spotted by someone at this time. Has Zhao recovered? The battle between List and Enel. Weber, look, a Zandian warrior pointed at the sky and exclaimed. Weber looked up. The pupils trembled suddenly. It's that guy Enel. He is so strong. Our opponent turned out to be such an existence. However, the Qinghai people who fought against Enel didn't seem to be weaker than him at all. Perhaps, he is the hope for us Daeans to regain Apayado. Perhaps he is the one the great warrior Calgara is waiting for. Qinghai people, come on, Tian Fan Enel. Even 400 years ago. The little green snake raised by Nolando and the big sky snake couldn't help but raise their heads and look at List and Enel who were fighting. Boom. Under the spotlight, List's crescent moon celestial and Thor Enel's 200 million volt thunder god finally collided. The big collision between the crescent sky and the 200 million volt thunder god. There is no such thing as a close match. There is no such thing as you coming and going. Some are devastating, some are overwhelming. Getsuga Tensho is a hockey attack after all. The quality far exceeds Enel's 200 million volts. As soon as the two parties come into contact, Crescent Moon Sky Chong broke through the Thunder God's punch. The force was like breaking bamboo, splitting open the entire Thunder Giant. Slash at Enel. Poof. Crescent Moon Chong directly cut off Enel's other arm. At this point, Enel has lost all his limbs. However, as a user with Lightning Fruit ability, even without limbs, still a powerful threat. Without saying a word, List swept towards Enel again. The moment he got close to Enel, he pulled out the 10 hands he had never used behind his back and stabbed him into Enel's body, completely suppressing the power of thunder and lightning in him. He grabbed his neck and quickly returned to the boat. We win, the captain has defeated the Thor Enel. The girls on the boat cheered. Captain wins, Johnson said excitedly. It's expected, Zoro said calmly. The battle is over, let's hurry over and join everyone, Bonus said. Okay, Johnson responded, then carried Zoro and Bonus on his back and continued to rush towards the direction of the boat. Weber, what should we do next? At this time, the soldiers of Shandia were also very excited. After all, Enel, who had been suppressing them for these 1,000 years, finally lost. At this moment, they saw an opportunity to take back Apayado. However, I was excited at the same time. They thought about List again. List's opinion is important. If they cannot obtain List's consent, then, I'm afraid Apayado will not return to their hands. That's why that person asked. The others are lurking in the forest first. Kamakili, Bram, you two accompany me to meet the Qinghai man who defeated Enel and see what his attitude is. Wei Bai thought for a while and said. Okay, Kamakili and Bram responded at the same time. Others didn't have any opinions after listening. Soon, the three of them rushed towards the direction where List fell. At this time, List has returned to the boat. Without saying a word, he threw Enel into the bathtub that had been prepared and covered with a layer of fruit. Then he stabbed Enel again, completely ruining his life. Put the fruit on the floor, List said to the girls next to him while pulling out his 10 hands. Hi, the girls responded in unison. He poured all the fruits he had prepared into the huge bathtub, completely submerging Enel. Okay, we Ada have done what we should do. Next, whether Nami can get the thunder fruit depends entirely on God's will. After List glanced at everyone, he smiled at Nami and said, are you nervous? Don't be nervous, I'm lucky to get it, but I'm going to lose my life. Nami shook his head and smiled. Besides, don't we, the money pirates, value fate the most? If we can't get it, it only means that thunder fruit is not destined for me. That's the truth. I hope you can always maintain this mentality, List said with a faint smile. Then I found a table and sat down. Ask Yulanjing to bring some meat and sheep fruits. Go ahead and eat it in big chunks. The battle with Enel didn't last long. List consumption is not large. However, he still habitually wants to replenish the energy he consumes in time. Only in this way can he feel safe. As the saying goes, when people are floating in the sea, stability is the first priority. List chatted with Nami and others for a while. Johnson carried Zoro back with Bonus. Hey, I'm back. What happened to Captain Zoro? He must have been praised by that priest, right? How miserable. Chitong looked at Zoro, who was all black, and couldn't help but joke. That guy uses a soft sword. If you look at my current situation, you know that I was not injured by the sword. Zoro rolled his eyes and retorted. Then, he looked at Xiao Liandao who was massaging List. Xiao Lian, please help me take care of myself. Go. List glanced at Zoro and said with a faint smile. Hi, Xiao Lian responded. Walked towards the three of them. Johnson puts Zoro down. Xiao Lian started nursing Zoro. Less than 3 minutes. Zoro was glowing again. Ha ha ha, finally resurrected with full blood. Zoro stood up, moved his body, felt the comfort and power from every part of his body, and smiled with satisfaction. Xiao Lian, thank you. You're welcome. Xiao Lian smiled gently. Afterwards, I went back to continue the massage with List. Everyone chatted for a while. Weber came with Kamishili and Brahafamu. Who are you? As soon as they came out, they immediately aroused the vigilance of Zoro, Chitong and others. Friends from Qinghai, we don't mean any harm. We are Sandians, the original owners of this island. Weber quickly explained. They came to seek support from List, not to fight. If it happens directly, there will be a falling out. There is no place to cry if they want to. Sandia people, you were washed up by rising sea currents just like this island. At this time, Luo said. Yes, that's right, our ancestors are the Gaia people. Weber nodded excitedly. Then what do you want to do when you come to us now? Nami asked. It's for this island, Apolado. This was originally our hometown, but 400 years ago, the original residents of Sky Island were kicked out of the island. For more than 400 years, we have wanted to take back our hometown every moment. In our generation, it was because Enel was too powerful that we never succeeded. It wasn't until you defeated Enel that we saw a glimmer of hope. Dear strong men, you are from Qinghai, so you will not stay here for long. So, after you leave, can you let us Sandians return to our hometown? Weber said solemnly. During this period, I did not forget to salute List. Nami and others couldn't help but look at List. Only List can decide this kind of thing. Okay, List said while eating bone skewers. But you can't move here until we leave. No problem. At this moment, Weber was so excited that he almost cried. At this moment, Apayado, who had been lost for more than 400 years, was finally returning to the hands of the Sandy people. Weber agreed to List's trivial request without even thinking about it. Kamakili and Bram next to him were also very excited. At this time, Weber solemnly bowed to List again. Road, thank you so much, dear strong man. Your mind is as broad as the sky. We don't know how to repay you. You're welcome, as you just said, we are from Qinghai, and we will eventually return to Qinghai. Here, it's the same for everyone. List said nonchalantly. In any case, we Sandians sincerely thank you. By the way, I haven't asked for your surname yet. We cannot repay your great kindness to us Sandians, so I want to build a statue for you and pass on the story of you defeating Enel and helping us Sandians regain Apabito. So that our descendants can know how Apolado returned to the hands of us Sandians. So that our descendants can remember your kindness. My name is List. Give Apayado to the Sandians. In List's opinion, this is just a trivial matter. However, Weber regarded it as extremely important. Think about it. List still told Weber his name. Shi left his name and the statue passed down to what? He doesn't think much of it. However, since others want to do something for him, he won't refuse either. List. It turns out that your name, strong man, is List. It's such a nice name. Weber wrote down the name and said flatteringly. List smiled dumbly. Unexpectedly, in the original work, the seemingly barbaric Sandians actually understand the world. I am also willing to lower my stature to flatter others. You Sandians and Sky Islanders have been fighting for this island for over 400 years. Now that I return Apayado to you Sandians, those Sky Island people will definitely not be happy. Maybe, after we leave, They might come back and compete with you for a Payado. How are you going to respond when the time comes? List asked with a smile. We Sandians are never afraid of war, and we will fight to the death to defend this hometown that originally belonged to us. If they dare to come, we will fight with them, Weber said fiercely. In this case, I'm afraid you still won't be able to escape the fate of being kicked out of Apado again. It is undeniable that your individual combat effectiveness is only stronger than that of the Sky Island people. But, how many people do you have in Sandia, and how many people do you have in Sky Island? List said, shaking his head. He didn't want to say this originally, but Weber wanted to carve a statue of him. Therefore, he was willing to chat more with Libo. Then I don't know what Mr. List's advice is. Weber paused slightly. Although he felt a little unhappy, he also knew that List was telling the truth, and he immediately humbly asked List for advice. It's not about giving advice, but I think you should have a good talk with the Sky Island people. List stopped here. As for whether Weber would listen, he didn't care at all. However, at this moment, a Pegasus fell from the sky. There is a figure behind Tianma. I apologize for disturbing you. Old God Ganfu. Weber looked at the old man in armor who appeared on the Pegasus, with a flash of hatred in his eyes. Weber from Sandia. Ganfu glanced at Weber without paying much attention, and then turned to look at List. He made a knightly salute and said, Dear Qinghai powerful man, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ganfu, and I am the god of Sky Island's previous generation. So, List continued to eat his meat without batting an eyelid. Dear strong man, you killed the evil god Enel. Saved hundreds of thousands of lives on my Sky Island. Here, on behalf of the hundreds of thousands of residents of Sky Island, I would like to say to you, thank you. Secondly, I don't know, do you have any idea of succeeding as the new god? If you want to become the god of Sky Island, I can support you to ascend the throne. Gon Shanur said. Being the god of Sky Island? Sorry, I'm not interested. Play for a few days and we will leave here. List waved his hand. Ganfu secretly breathed a sigh of relief. What he just said were just polite words. If List really agreed, he would probably have to worry. So, he went on to say, Apayado has done a lot. Ganfu, Apayado is the ancestral land of our Sandians. Your Excellency List has handed over this island to us Sandians. Weber heard Ganfu's words, but he still didn't understand. What he wanted to say immediately interrupted his words. Weber, Apayasido belongs to you Sandians, and it also belongs to all of us on Sky Island. Ganfu said solemnly. 400 years of grudges, we still can't tell who was right and who was wrong. In this case, why don't we put aside our prejudices and share the sacred island of Apayado together, wouldn't it be beautiful? Don't even think about it. Weber objected directly without even thinking. Apayado belongs to us Sandians. You people don't even think about it. Quote. Weber, I advise you to think clearly. Apayado is a treasure land given to Sky Island by God, and we cannot allow you Sandians to monopolize it. Once the war starts, you Sandians will not be able to defend Apayado. If you don't want what happened 400 years ago to happen again, you'd better consider my proposal. Ganfu said very bluntly. The quarrel between Ganfu and Weber was an eye-opener for Nami and others. This is a naked struggle of interests. The Sandians wanted to monopolize Apayado. But other Sky Islanders also want to go up there and feel the fragrance of the earth. If the two parties cannot reach an agreement, one day, I will continue to work hard. In this kind of thing, you have to insist on saying who is wrong and who is right. List couldn't answer either. However, he cannot solve the problem, but he can drive away the person who raised the problem. I say you two, if you want to negotiate, you can definitely find a place where no one is around to do it. If you want to fight, you can find a place where no one is around and do it. But please don't argue in front of me, it's very annoying, understand? List said calmly. Sorry, Your Excellency List, I was rude, Weber apologized directly to List. Dear strong man, since you have no intention of becoming a god, I won't bother you anymore. The rest of the matter is between me, the Sky Islanders and the Sandians, and we will handle it ourselves. Sorry to disturb you. Ganfu also apologized to List. Okay, you all should leave. This island belongs to us within 3 days. I hope you will not make any mistakes. 3 days later, we left. You can do whatever you want, it has nothing to do with me. List said lightly. Then let's say goodbye first. After hearing this, Weber said nothing and left directly with Kamishili and Bram. Ganfior did the same thing. He confessed to List and left on his horse. Gone 4, Mr. List has clearly handed over a Payado to us, but this guy still dares to fight with us. Weber, why don't we kill this guy Goner for first? As long as we kill him, the people of Sky Island will be leaderless. Then no one can stop us Sandians from moving to a Payado. Kamakili suggested. Gan 4 isn't that easy to kill. Moreover, we can't just do anything in a Pado. Today, His Excellency List is still in a Payado. We cannot cause him displeasure. Let's go back and make long-term plans first. Weber said solemnly. Good. People, List, do you think they will eventually fight? After both parties left, Nami asked with a frown. Robin, what do you think? List looked at Robin. I think it's unlikely that they will fight. Robin said with a faint smile. Why? Nami asked in confusion. Because they have been fighting for hundreds of years, and now they finally have an opportunity to coexist peacefully. As long as they are not really fanatical about war, they should not be able to fight. Quote. But just now I saw the attitude of those Sandians, they don't seem to want to share a Payado with other people in Sky Island. And the people at Sky Island obviously don't want the Sandians to monopolize a Payado. Nami said. The Sandians are just bluffing. After they go back and discuss with everyone, there is a high probability that they will accept sharing a Payado with other people on Sky Island. Just now, List said, 047, right. How many people are there in Sandia? How many people are there in Sky Island? The numbers on both sides are not of the same level at all. Keep fighting. Even so, the Sandians temporarily gained the upper hand and monopolized a Payado. But I believe that it won't be long before the Sandians were driven out of a Payado 400 years ago and will happen again. Taking the initiative to integrate into this large group is the way out for Sandians. Robin analyzed. That's right. Nami nodded in understanding. Then, he looked at the time, stood up, and walked towards Tien Yuchen. It's almost time. We'll find out soon whether Thunderfruit and I are destined to be together. Everyone looked at the large bathtub expectantly. Then Nami quickly lifted the cloth covering the tub. Next moment, a purple Logia devil fruit appeared on top of a pile of fruits in front of everyone's eyes. Appeared. Devil fruit appears. It seems that Sister Nami is really destined to Thunderfruit. The moment they saw Thunderfruit, the girls screamed excitedly. What you say is what I say. Very lively. Nami also showed a happy expression. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the Thunderfruit directly. That real feeling made Nami's heart beat wildly. This is one of the strongest Logia devil fruits. There are very few people in the entire sea who can remain calm after seeing this devil fruit. Nami is no exception. List, I ate it. Nami looked at List and said. Eat. List smiled faintly. He already has Kue fruit and is very satisfied with Kue fruit's ability, so naturally he doesn't feel sad that Thunderfruit is eaten by others. Besides, the person who ate this devil fruit was not an outsider. But his woman. Nami didn't hesitate at all and ate the entire devil fruit in just a few bites. Then, he directly grabbed a few fruits from the tub and started biting them without dissatisfying them. He didn't stop until the unbearable taste in his mouth was diluted. It tastes terrible. After Nami finished eating, Tuan complained to everyone. Everyone who tasted devil fruit couldn't help but smile. They really don't want to taste this taste again. After Nami eats the thunder fruit, also learn from what Chitong and others did before. Close your eyes and concentrate, feeling the Emperor Li in your body. Zitsa. In an instant, several electric threads flashed across Nami's body. Stand back, everyone, List reminded. Everyone stepped back. At this time, there were more and more electric wires on Nami's body. The flashing of the electric wires became more powerful, and the sound turned into a beeping sound. Nami, it's almost done. List reminded loudly. Nami opened her eyes, and the electric wires on her body disappeared instantly. How does it feel? List asked. I feel so strong. I can kill many people with one move. Nami said with a flash of surprise in his eyes. Then, do you want me to test it for you? List said with a smile. No need. Nami was excited and quickly refused. Even Enel, a veteran who has eaten thunder fruit for more than 10 years, cannot stop List's attack. If she dared to expand, she thought she would be able to compete with List. Then, she will have her good fruit to eat next. I thought you were so arrogant that everyone looked like a bidder, and I wanted to tell you to calm down. I didn't expect you to be so self-aware. List smiled with some disappointment. Except for you, everyone else is indeed the one who sells out the bids. Nami laughed, then looked at Zoro, raised his fingers and said, Zoro, come here and fight with me. Zoro didn't tolerate Nami, so he walked directly to List, raised his 10 hands, walked up to Nami and said, come. You are a samurai, but you are using dry hands. Nami's eyes widened. You have an elemental devil fruit ability, and you want to bully me, a samurai who doesn't understand armament hockey. Zoro snorted coldly. When Zoro put down the burden of samurai, Nami really couldn't speak to Zoro for a while. List, look at him. Nami pointed at Zoro and complained to List. I think this is fair. List said with a faint smile. You are the Logia demon fruit power. Zoro cannot deal with you without using seastone weapons. He will only be tortured by you. Only after he has a weapon to restrain you can he test your true level. List, you don't love me anymore. Nami looked at List and said coquettishly. Wo dang ran I nila, boog wo, ni jin jin bei ren zo yi dun da wa, wo hai shi ke yi jia show de ideographic period. List diao con dao ideographic period. You bad guy. Nami had no expectations for List at all. Then he looked back at Zoro. Don't think you can hit me with 10 hands. No, you don't have a chance. Next, let's see how I deal with you. Come on. Zoro sneered disapprovingly. The ship is too small for you to handle. If you want to fight, go below. List reminded. Fight me off the boat. Nami glanced at Zoro and said. Come on, whoever is afraid of you. Zoro jumped out of the boat first. Billy. After Zoro got off the boat, Nami also turned into a bolt of lightning and quickly appeared in front of Zoro, 10 meters away. It's so fast. As expected of thunder fruit, I didn't notice at all. Kai Tong exclaimed. Come on. Nami hooked her finger at Zoro and said provocatively. In an instant, Zoro moved. He quickly flew towards Nami like a sharp arrow, waved his 10 hands, and struck Nami in the abdomen. Nami quickly stepped back and spread his fingers wide. Million-volt thunder net. In an instant, countless thunder and lightning shot out, like a big net, covering Zoro. With a whoosh, Zoro disappeared instantly. Nami's thunder net did not catch Zoro. Hit the air directly. Next moment, Zoro uses the silent shunpo, quickly appearing on Nami's side. 10 hands waved an afterimage and hit Nami's waist. Ah! Nami screamed. He was directly smashed 10 meters away. After Zoro's blow, he didn't stop there and continued to use the silent shunpo to catch up with Nami. Use a seastone weapon and place it against Nami's throat. Grinning. Nami, you lose. Zoro, you guys are just sparring. How dare you do such a cruel thing? Nami gasped while covering her waist and eye that was hit by Zoro, while glaring at Zoro fiercely, wanting to eat Zoro alive. If we were enemies, you would be dead. Zoro said lightly. The underlying meaning of Zoro's words is very clear. He had shown mercy on that blow just now. I don't accept it. I was careless just now and didn't dodge. Let's do it again. Nami immediately shouted. Women are always small-minded. Nami was beaten up by Zoro, so naturally she wanted to take revenge. Come on. Zoro smiled disapprovingly. Later, the two divided into classes. Stand facing each other again. Are you ready? Zoro sneered. Start. Nami snorted. This time, Nami learned wisely. It immediately turned into lightning and flew towards the sky. Standing on the void, looking down at Zoro. Zoro, you fool, you just had a great time beating me, it's my turn next. Nami snorted coldly and quickly gathered his thunder. Zoro on the ground was stunned for a moment. Nami, aren't you being a rogue? Zoro yelled, although, he also started learning List's moonwalk. However, control has not yet been completed. Cannot be used normally in combat. Take the half bucket of water moonwalk and hit Nami in the air. Isn't that seeking death? Playing rogue? Am I acting rogue? This is a tactic. Do you understand the tactics? Do you want me to give up my advantage and fight you in close combat? I'm not stupid. Stop talking nonsense, Zoro, and accept my judgment. The moment Nami finished speaking, countless thunder and lightning struck at Zoro. 108 troubled winds. Zoro didn't choose to sit still and wait for death. In an instant, a storm of sword energy suddenly appeared, rushing towards the thunder and lightning falling in the sky. Swallow all those thunders and mince them into pieces. You are quite capable. In that case, let me see how long you can last. Nami flew higher and higher. It's so high that even Zoro's flying slashes can't reach it. Release the ultimate move again. Thousands of thunder. Suddenly, thousands of thunder and lightning with thick arms struck down again. Even if Zoro has observation haki, but under the dense and continuous thunder blows, it was hard to resist for a while. In the end, he was beaten to a pulp and fell directly to the ground, breathing out white smoke and twitching. Nami's actions were a bit measured. Although there are many thunders, the power of each thunder and lightning is not very great, less than 100,000 volts. Although Zoro was sore all over from being shocked. However, with his physical condition, there was no danger to his life. Humph, now you know the advantages and disadvantages of your sister Nami. Nami turned into lightning and flashed in front of Zoro, floating in the void, smiling proudly. How about it? Do you accept it? Submit. You win. Zoro was very sensible and gave up directly without talking back to Nami, a little woman. At the same time, I also secretly shed a handful of sad tears. After 10 years of hard training, one devil fruit is not as good as others. What use do I have for this sword? What do I need this knife for? Well, I'm still too weak. If I awaken armament haki, if I had the power of Hawkeye, how could he lose to Nami? Work hard, I still need to keep working hard. HMPH, just take it. Nami smiled proudly, lifted Zoro up with one hand and flew towards the boat. After throwing Zoro on the ground, Nami walked directly to a beach chair and lay down, saying to Xiaolian next to him, Xiaolian, come here and take care of me. Hi, Xiaolian responded and walked towards Nami. 3 minutes later, Nami's waist and eye injuries are recovering well. It's so comfortable. It's almost ready. Let's show it to Zoro too, Nami said. She had just beaten Zoro, and it felt great, but after the beating, she would not ignore Zoro's injuries. After you're almost recovered, go check on Zoro. Hi. Xiaolian responded, turned around and walked over to nurse Zoro. 3 more minutes later, Zoro is resurrected again with full health. He glanced at Nami. I made up my mind that I would never spar with Nami again. No, I would never spar with a petty woman again. Otherwise, I don't know what kind of sins I will suffer in the future. The boat continued to move forward. Nami looked around and asked, List, where are you going next? Go to the temple, List said calmly. The temple, that's where Enel lives, Nami said. Yes, List nodded. Is there anything good there? Nami's eyes lit up with a charming golden light. Of course, there is a flying golden ship there. It's very good, I'm ready to accept it. List smiled. The golden ship, is it made of gold? The light in Nami's eyes became brighter. Yes, it's made of gold. List nodded. Johnson, Bonus, Aw-san, please hurry up the boat, I can't wait. Nami immediately turned around and shouted to the 3 of them. Sister Nami, this boat is already the fastest in this small river. Johnson laughed and laughed. You can find a paddle, Nami said. The expressions on the 3 people's faces turned dark. Do you want to listen to what you are saying? Get a paddle. Where can I find boat oars? Even if there are paddles, how can we row such a big boat? Explain. Have you already wanted to kill us? That's why I came up with this idea, I want to tire us to death. That's almost it. We don't miss this little time, List said, somewhat dumbfounded. After hearing this, Nami calmed down. Almost 20 minutes or so. Under the command of List and the operation of Johnson and others, the boat passed through intricate cloud rivers and drove directly to the vicinity of the temple. After getting off the boat, List led everyone towards the temple. Who are you? As soon as List and the others entered the temple, a panicked cry came from the temple. Although Enel and the 4 priests were completely wiped out. But there are many maids in the temple. They were all summoned by Enel from Angel Island to serve him. After Enel left, they didn't dare to run around. I can only wait in the temple. Now, they have not waited for Enel to come back. But we waited until List et al. When they saw List and others coming in, they couldn't help but have a look of panic on their faces. Don't be afraid, we are not bad people and will not hurt you. Nami immediately comforted the panicked young losers. Oh, Konis, why are you here? The girls also saw Konis among the maids at this time. I am the maid chosen by Mr. Enel, the god of thunder. I have to come here to serve Mr. Enel at this time every day. This is the temple, where Lord Enel, the god of thunder, lives. Please leave quickly. Otherwise, you won't be able to leave when Master Enel comes back. At this time, Koni explained to Chitong and others the reason why she was here, and at the same time kindly reminded them to settle down quickly. Don't be afraid, the god of thunder Enel has been killed by us. Nami smiled. At the same time, several lightning bolts were released that wrapped around the body. Billy, if there is a thunder god in this world, then it must be me, Nami. Wow, the mission maids couldn't help but exclaimed when they saw the lightning wrapped around Nami's body. Is this real? Enel is really dead. The maids all looked at Nami in disbelief. It's true, otherwise, how could Enel's lightning appear on me? Nami nodded and said, Ying ying ying. When the maids confirmed that Enel was really dead, everyone cried with joy, hugging each other, telling their joy. Great, Enel is finally dead, and we don't have to wait for him anymore. Don't be afraid anymore, he will chop him into pieces with lightning. Dad, you can rest in peace. The evil god Enel is finally dead. Well, since Enel is dead, can we go home? A maid looked at Nami, List and others cautiously and asked. You can leave at any time. Nami nodded. The money pirates don't need these angel maids to serve them. List has them. Zoro and others, keep everything simple. These girls want to leave, and Nami naturally won't refuse. When the girls heard Nami's words, they all smiled happily, and then bowed to Nami and others. He hurriedly left the temple. In the end, only Cornies, the angel lady, was left lingering in the hall. Konis, aren't you? Yulin asked. Well, thank you for helping us get rid of the evil god Enel. I have been working here for 2 months and I am still very familiar with the surrounding environment. Is there anything you need help with? Maybe I can help you. Konis looked at Nami and others expectantly. List helped them get rid of Enel in Sky Island, so Konis also wanted to repay List and them. Don't mention it, I really need your help with something. Konis, do you know that Enel has the habit of collecting things? Nami asked expectantly. At this moment, she has obviously set her sights on Enel's treasure. Collecting things. Cornish shook her head. He doesn't seem to have the habit of collecting things. I've been here for so long and I've never seen him collect anything. Really? Nami was a little disappointed. Then he asked. Then do you know where Enel's golden ship is? I know this. I'll take you to see it. Konis nodded quickly. Then he walked in front, leading List and the others towards the place where Enel built the big ship. Under the leadership of Cornish. Soon, everyone came to a dock. At this time, the ark has been built. As soon as everyone came in, they saw a strange-looking golden ship placed there. Wow, what a dazzling face. I like this big ship. Nami screamed excitedly when she saw the golden head on the big ship. In addition to the golden avatar, this big ship also uses gold in many places. I really don't know how much gold they melted to build this big ship. Robin also said with a look of emotion. Konis, are the construction drawings of this big ship still there? List used God's vision to scan and found no drawings or anything like that. He immediately looked at Konis and asked. I'm not very sure about this. Konis shook his head. What about the shipwright who built this big ship? List asked again. After they built the big ship, Enel killed them. Konis shook his head and said with a pale face. Before, among those maids, the fathers of several girls participated in the construction of this big ship. Originally, they thought that after they built the big ship, Enel will let them go home. As a result, what greeted them was thunder and thunder. Each one was destroyed on the spot. List, what are you doing? Nami asked somewhat differently. Nami, the Ark is a large electric-powered ship that matches your thunder fruit quite well. Originally, I wanted to find the construction drawings for you to take a look at so that you can become familiar with this big ship as soon as possible. Or just find a shipwright and ask him to guide you in controlling the golden ship. As a result, there is nothing now. Then you can only rely on yourself to explore. There are still 2 days left. During this time, you need to master the skills of operating this golden ship as soon as possible. After that, we will drive this big ship back, List said. That's it, Nami suddenly realized. Then he patted his chest and assured List, don't worry, I will get familiar with this big ship as soon as possible. So best. What needs to be said has been arranged. Next, let's move freely and disperse on the spot, List said to everyone. Everyone cheered. They dispersed one after another. Johnson asked Bonus and Dino to hang out together. Originally they also invited Zoro. However, Zoro was defeated by Enel and Nami. This matter greatly stimulated him. At this time, he just wants to work hard to become stronger. Race against time to become stronger. So I rejected Johnson's invitation. A man walks into the forest and practices silently. And Orchid Shizuka and a group of girls took Kanes to the temple to chat. The two sides quickly got along. Chitong ran to the kitchen to see if anyone was barking. Like List, she also loves to eat. I just ate a coconut at Angel Island Beach. It left her feeling unsatisfied. So, she wanted to look for something delicious. Hill followed cutely. Xiaolian has been staying by List's side, waiting for his orders. At this time, Robin also grabbed a travel bag and said to List, this island is very interesting. I want to go and explore Pandora, the golden land of 10 times. Be safe on the road, List said to Robin. Okay, Robin smiled gently. He left gracefully. After Robin left, Nokigao suddenly said, didn't List say that there is gold on this island before? Why don't I take a few girls to look for it? At this time, Nami also reacted. Yeah, I almost forgot that there is still gold that I haven't found yet. Nuo Chigao, you are still reliable. I'll leave it to you next. Remember to let everyone collect more gold. I know. Nojigao smiled lightly. Then he walked towards the temple. I asked Yulan and other girls if they wanted to go treasure hunting. The girls expressed their opinions one after another, clamoring to go search for the gold treasure with Nuoxiandang. Even Cornish followed, although Cornish has set foot in a Pyado many times. However, in the past, she was picked up and dropped off by the security officer of Angel Island. Every time she went back and forth, there were people watching, and she did not dare to take away even a cup of dirt. Now that she finally had the opportunity to explore Ayuado, she also wanted to go treasure hunting with Noki. In the end, only List, not Qian's Mei and Xiaolian were left in the dock. Aren't you two leaving? Nami glanced at List and Xiaolian. I want to stay with the captain. Xiaolian glanced at List with a blushing face and said softly. Of course I'll stay with you to get familiar with the arc. List said with a faint smile. As expected, List, you are so considerate. Nami smiled and kissed List on the face as a reward. Later, Nami, accompanied by List and Xiaolian, began to get familiar with arc. Starting from the entrance and exit, we explored the functions of the arc step by step. In fact, the function of the arc is not complicated. It only took the three of them less than an hour to explore the entire ship. Later, List asked Nami to charge the arc and take it for a test drive. Nami flies very steadily. Suddenly, List was completely relieved. List was in a great mood and went straight to the arc to play adult games with Nami and Xiaolian. Nami let out a long sound. The fighting gradually subsided. List held Nami and Xiaolian in his arms, leaning on the deck, admiring the scenery at the top of Sky Island while whispering. The three of them were very comfortable, very relaxed, very romantic, very satisfied. I really want to see the Sea of Clouds here for a few more days. Nami sighed. Xiaolian on the other side nodded in agreement. The life between her, Nami, and Li Siwu was so happy. She also wanted to stay a few more days. However, they actually know that this is impossible. There are thousands of people waiting for them under the sea. If we stay a few more days, who knows what we will find next. List's little fortune, which he had managed to accumulate with great difficulty, could not be thrown away so easily. Look, we will still have many opportunities in the future. List smiled faintly. Not only that, I will also take you to travel across thousands of rivers and mountains to see more beautiful scenery and meet more romantic occasions. That's settled. Nami smiled sweetly. Actually, just be with List. She will be satisfied. However, She is also happy to see better scenery and meet more romantic occasions. After all, she is just an 18-year-old girl, and she still has fantasies about all these wonderful things. Of course, List kissed Nami on the forehead and said in a firm tone. Time passes unconsciously. The sun has set in the west. Nami, we should go back. List said. Okay. Nami nodded. He once again controlled the golden ark parked on the island cloud and rushed towards a Pyato. En route, List and the other three were suddenly dazzled by a golden light. List, what is that? Nami seemed to have seen something, but was not sure, so she could only ask List next to her. It looks like a big clock. List raised his eyebrows. This big clock is exactly the golden clock that Luffy and Enel accidentally discovered during a fierce battle in the original book. However, at this time, the golden clock was covered with moss, covering up its true appearance. Only a few places were exposed. Under the sunlight falling from the west, it emits reflections, revealing his true nature. This big clock seems to be made of gold, Nami said excitedly. Let's move the boat closer. List said. Okay. Nami steered the golden ark towards the big clock. There is still about 40 or 50 meters away. List jumped directly and grabbed hundreds of golden hammers from the ark. The moment he got closer, List grinned and punched the clock hard. Boom! There was a loud bang, ringing throughout Sky Island. Spread to the bottom of the sea again. That bell. The people on Sky Island didn't understand what the bell meant, so they raised their heads and looked around blankly. After not finding the big clock, he lowered his head and continued his work. On the contrary, it is the Sandians, whether they are men, women, old or young. When I hear this bell, I couldn't help but feel shocked. Then, tears gradually filled his face. Shandora's lamp is lit. The long-cherished wish of the great warrior Kalgara has been conveyed to Qinghai. The last wish of our ancestors has been fulfilled. Who rang the golden bell? Is it His Excellency List? Yes, it must be him. His fruit is what the heavenly warrior Karshala is waiting for. Everyone in the Shandia nation was moved to tears. Weber, the great warrior Kalgara's long-cherished wish has been fulfilled. Shouldn't we also think about the future of Sandia? The war that has lasted for 400 years must be over. Lackey persuaded Weber. Weber was not angry, but instead became thoughtful. After a moment, he raised his head and said, "Then let's talk to the Sky Island people." The sound of the bell can be heard far and wide. After List rings the golden bell. Almost 30 seconds or so. It also reached the sea. Where does this bell come from? It seems to be coming from the sky. The sound of bells came from the sky. Dog. Could it be Captain List and they did it? If nothing else, it should be Captain List and the others. The people who stayed behind in the fleet were talking a lot. What exactly is going on? Why is there a bell ringing? And the bell seems to be coming from the sky. Does Sky Island really exist? If Sky Island is real, then what is it that we have been laughing at all these years? On Gaia Island, those people came out one after another. Look up to the sky. Listen to this melodious bell. Everyone became silent. Brother, listen, is it a bell? It seems to be coming from the sky. The big ape shouted excitedly. Swiss List and the others succeeded. Sky Island is real. Nolandos Jr., Leonligite, burst into tears with excitement. The screen returns to List. List not only rang the golden bell with one punch. It also dispersed all the moss and dirt on the golden bell. The golden clock also revealed its true face. Under the western sunlight, the golden light shines brightly. It was so shaking that even Nami and Xiaolian couldn't open their eyes. After the blow, List did not stop speeding. Another 23 more knocks. The sound travels hundreds of miles. Alarmed countless people. After knocking 24 times in total, List then returned to the ark. List, you seem to have knocked 24 times in total. Does this mean anything? Nami asked curiously. It will be my 24th birthday in a few days, so let's celebrate it in advance. List said with a grin. 24th birthday. I'll prepare a gift for you then. Nami smiled. Captain, I will also prepare a birthday gift for you. Xiaolian said quickly. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. List smiled and nodded. In the previous world, not many people remember his birthday. That is, parents, brothers and sisters. Ever since he went out to work, I have always celebrated my birthday alone. Therefore, he has some expectations for this year's birthday. List, how much do you think this golden clock is worth? Nami looked at the golden clock and couldn't help drooling. Such a big piece of gold art. This is the first time I have seen her in such a long life. It is indeed the golden land Shantora. Really rich. It's worth at least tens of billions. Even if it can be sold for 100 billion, I wouldn't be surprised. However, such a large piece of art is not easy to sell. Because in the entire sea, there are probably only a few people who can afford this golden clock. When this big bell comes down to Qinghai, I believe there will definitely be more people coming to snatch it than buying it. Also, there is another problem. It is not that easy to get down such a big golden clock, List said. What should we do? Nami couldn't help but feel a headache after hearing List's words. How about we just cut it into small pieces and take it away? Nami made a suggestion that the Sandia people wanted to beat someone. How dare you destroy such a perfect piece of art? List glanced at Nami and joked. Nami was silent for a moment after hearing this. I can't bear it. However, if I keep it, I will be even more heartbroken. Nami answered truthfully. This is more like what you think. It's true. Lee Sit smiled. Then what do you think we should do? Nami glanced at List angrily. The man in front of her was just like her, obsessed with money. She didn't believe that List was willing to give up this golden clock. After List pondered for a moment, he said, it would be a pity to just divide it. Let's keep it for now. After we get the lion fruit, we can move it away. After we leave, will the Sandians and Sky Islanders take it for themselves? Moreover, you just rang the big bell 24 times. People under the sea probably heard it too. They should also know about the existence of Sky Island. If they associate Sky Island with the golden land Shantora mentioned by Nolando. Do you think you can still keep this big clock until we come back to pick it up? Nami said worriedly. People below, don't worry, think about the difficulties we encountered when we arrived at Sky Island. Not everyone can successfully reach Sky Island from the upper current, and even if they can, they may not be able to find the location of the Golden Bell. After all, who can imagine it? The Golden Bell is not in the ruins of Shantora at all, but is thrown to a leaf on the vine in the island cloud. Moreover, even if they find the Golden Bell, they may not be able to take it with them. After all, the golden clock is so big. Moreover, there are people like Sandia and Ganfor on Sky Island. They won't let those people run amok. List said calmly. Okay, just do what you said. After hearing List's words, Nami did not continue to insist on his original opinion. At this time, a phone bug rang on List's body. List took out the phone and connected it directly. I'm List. List, was it you who rang the bell just now? Robin's excited voice came from the phone. I rang it. List responded. Where are you now? Robin asked quickly. What do you want to do? List asked. I want to see the legendary lamp of Shantora. Robin said. Okay, have you seen the huge one? Go up the Fujima. When we are almost at the top, we should be able to see me and the big golden clock, said List. I'm near the vine. List, can you come down and take me up? Robin raised his head and glanced at the height of the vine. I felt a little dizzy for a while. This vine must be too big and too tall. Soaring into the clouds. Go all the way to the top. How long will it take? It would be much faster if List was flying with him. That's why Robin wanted List to come down and take her up. No, I'm too lazy to move now. List directly rejected Robin's request without thinking. I can give you your favorite pose tonight, and I can even give you nucleic acid. Seeing that List refused, Robin quickly promised List many benefits. The word nucleic acid was given by List. Robin has always let List get his way before. As a result, List never forgot this. Now I want to see the lantern of Shantara as soon as possible. Robin also worked hard. I'll be there soon. He looked at List, who dropped the phone and flew down the vines. Nami and Xiao Lian were dumbfounded for a while. Immediately there was another burst of contempt. HMPH, man. Less than 10 seconds. List then walked down the vine. Came to Robin. He gracefully bowed to Robin as a knight. Ms. Robin, I'm here to pick you up. Dishing, let's go. Robin rolled his eyes at List. Okay, I'll take you there right away. With that said, List directly picked up Robin and ran up quickly, stepping on the vines as if he were walking on flat ground. At List's current speed, you can even run through the air. Not to mention the kuo sha, which grows vertically at a mere 90-degree angle. Less than 10 seconds, List carried Robin to the leaf and island cloud where the golden bell was. After List put down Robin, Robin walked towards the golden clock with hot eyes. Is this the legendary lamp of Shantora? It is indeed a perfect work of art. If it is said that List and Nami just think this golden clock is beautiful and are reluctant to destroy it. Well, Robin has an almost obsessive love for this golden clock. If she knew that Nami just wanted to cut up the golden bell and take it away, I wonder if she would challenge Nami for a duel. Robin gently stroked the golden clock. Watch as you walk. Suddenly, on the pedestal of the big clock, she found a line of words that surprised her deeply. Pirate King Roger actually came here before. And he even left a message on this stage. Robin was very surprised. I came here, and I guided this text to its final place. What does this mean? Robin fell into deep thought. It means that Roger placed the truth of the world on the final island, which is Raftel. List said, standing next to Robin. It's possible. Robin nodded. In other words, if you want to know the truth about this world, you must go to Wolof. Maybe. List nodded. Unfortunately, when I traveled through time, One Piece had not yet had its finale. Otherwise, even without Raftel, I would know what the truth of the world is. Subsequently, Robin also circled around the golden clock. Then he reluctantly moved his eyes away. The sun is going down, we should go back. List said. Robin saw everything he wanted to see. He also followed List back to the Golden Ark with great satisfaction. Oh, can Nami control this spaceship already? Only then did Robin react. Otherwise, how do you think we discovered the golden clock? It was when we returned to Apayado after the test flight that we were stunned by the golden light reflected by the golden clock. Nami said with a proud smile. Prophet, Robin exclaimed in admiration. Later, List and his group rushed back to the temple in time before the sun went down. When they come back, Zero, Nachigao et al., Johnson et al., even Zoro, who has the attribute of being a wanderer, has returned. Nachigao, how was your harvest today? After getting off the boat, Nami ran to Nuochigao and asked expectantly. Nami, we have gained a lot. We found more than 300 kilograms of gold. Nuochi said with a smile. Real, Nami said in surprise. Unexpectedly, she failed to get the golden bell back, but it was Nokigao who gave her such a surprise. Have a banquet, tonight, we have a banquet. Nami suggested happily. Everyone has no opinion at all about this. Soon. The banquet started while the girls were busy. After List completely knocked down the 4 men of Zoro. Then he carried Robin back to the room that the girls had packed for him. Nami and Nokigao quickly followed. After Xiao Lian and everyone else cleared the table, they also sneaked into List's room. The next day, after getting up, Robin felt a dull pain in his mouth and throat. Suddenly I remembered List's madness and rudeness last night. He cursed secretly. He quickly found Xiao Lian and asked her to do some nursing care for him. Only then do you dare to go out and meet people. A new day. List and the others did not return to the sea immediately, but accepted Caunus's invitation and went to Angel Island for a day. This day, List and others tasted a lot of Sky Island's delicacies. A large amount of Sky Island clams were also purchased. For combat, for daily use, everything you need. Even that night, List and they all spent time on Angel Island. Until the 3rd day, List and other talents were greeted by the people of Sandia and Angel Island. Leave Sky Island. Return to the sea. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.